That is insane. When did I... Bro, this is the type of content I'll be watching, bro. Gaming shit.
Yeah.
Not on some real shit, bro. Like, 1,000. Anyways. وش كنا بنكتب؟ أندرو.
بريس مورغان هي اصلا في قناته كانت.
ايش اسمه بريتش؟
بريس مورغان اللي مع
بريس ولا بروس؟
اما بروس
والله ما ادري.
اسمه بريس مورغان
BR
اللي مع
بروس مورغان. هذا هو؟
لا اللي تحت اللي في النص الثالث واحد. يا شوف PEIRS.
اوكي هذا هو بروس. بيرس. يا
ماي باد
بيرس. هذا هو. لا هذا دقيقة، هذا مو
سوي بيرس مورغان مع اسمه اندرو. والله اندرو صراحة يعني هو جاب العيد بس ما يبغى كان يبغى يعتذر، ولكن هو جاب العيد، عرف يعني هو كذا قال رأيه بطريقة تزعل الناس يمكن تقول، عرف.
الحين حنحكم، الحين هنشوف.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity.
Let's show ass up, nigga. خلنا نخش الفيديو أول بعدين اديني ادز. هذا صح؟
اللي يا
هذه ساعة مو نص ساعة.
بريح كانت it's like.
Would you like to take this opportunity finally to tell the rioters to stop rioting?
skip the introduction. أصلا introduction.
لا ما أعرف.
Would you like to take this opportunity
أعرف what to expect. Like
to tell the rioters to stop rioting? Yes or no?
Let me make it clear to the people on both sides of the equation, all of my brothers in Islam and all of the Christians and native people of the UK who feel like they're underrepresented. You have more in common with the people you live amongst than you do with these political elites. The people you live amongst love their children and they're struggling to pay the bills exactly like you are. What kind of powder keg are we building here through incompetent leadership in the UK? I'm a mixed race Muslim and I'm pointing out this very obvious truth.
The sheer brass neck, frankly, Andrew, of you lecturing me about the truth when you've spent the last week spewing complete fake news bullshit. You told your millions of followers, and it was seen by 15 million people, that it was an illegal migrant who had committed these crimes. Are you prepared to apologise for that lie?
We're in the UK to have a country so insane that we have no border, we don't know who's there, crimes through the roof, nobody's safe on the streets anymore, and then when you point these things out, somehow you're some kind of racist and bad person.
No, you're posting complete.
والله هذا المقابل انت راح تكون 50-50، ما راح يمديك توقف 100% مع اندرو ولا 100% مع بريس.
Piers Morgan, of course, I got the wrong stabber. Piers, be very careful what you say.
On July 29th, a 17-year-old boy murdered 3 girls and injured 8 more children in a horrific mass stabbing at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class in Merseyside. The alleged killer was born in Wales to Rwandan parents, but police did not initially confirm his identity because he's aged under 18. Disinformation filled the vacuum instead. Right-wing influencers spread false claims online, including the killer was a devout Muslim and a Syrian refugee. Riots and looting have since spread to at least 16 towns and cities across the UK. Far-right thugs have sieged mosques and hotels housing asylum seekers. Groups of armed Muslim men have attacked people in the street. These appalling scenes have become a stain on Britain's global reputation. Elon Musk has commented that civil war is inevitable in the UK. Many US conservatives are amplifying the unrest as apparent evidence of failed multiculturalism. One of the influencers accused of fanning the flames is Andrew Tate, a recently converted Muslim man whose inaccurate claims in the days after the mass stabbing have been viewed tens of millions of times. And he joins me now. Andrew Tate, welcome back to Uncensored.
It's been a while.
It has, and obviously you've, as in fact I'm about to talk to you, Nigel Farage, who is now a member of Parliament in the UK and who has been saying some very inflammatory things in the last week or so about these riots, has blamed you, named you in a radio interview as for the person who spread the disinformation, which he then believed. I want to start by playing a clip of a video you posted to Instagram, I think it was, on the 29th of July, that you posted to various social media platforms, in which was your response to what had happened.
So an undocumented migrant decided to go into a Taylor Swift dance class today and stab 6 little girls. That's right, somebody arrived in the UK on a boat. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knows where he's from. The media is, of course, hiding the fact that this is a 17-year-old male. They don't want to highlight how ridiculous it is that we allow military-aged males, combatants, to flood our shores. I don't see any protests in the UK. I don't see anybody complaining. Nobody's outside of the school. Nobody's outside the police station. The soul of the Western man is so broken that when the invaders slaughter your daughters, you do absolutely fucking nothing.
Now that video has been viewed 15.1 million times.
That was an interesting take.
The post's visibility because of its rules on hateful conduct. But the bottom line, Andrew, is that almost everything you said in that video was completely untrue, and yet it was apparently seized upon online, spread wide and far, and made people believe what you were saying. So my question for you off the top here is, why did you race to spread such woeful disinformation, given the massive following you have, and encourage people to take action against a caricature and description of who had perpetrated this, which was simply untrue?
Well, firstly, I'll start by saying I didn't know Nigel Farage said those things about me, which is a shame because I'm actually a fan of him. I think he's trying to do the right thing. I also understand in his political sphere, sometimes he has to hang other people out to dry to save himself because he's getting heat also. Secondly, I'll argue with you about the fact that everything I said was untrue. I think the only thing I said that was untrue is that perhaps he was undocumented. It was a 17-year-old male. It was a migrant. He did kill little girls. And advocating for people to stand outside and make it clear that they're unhappy with what happened is not a dangerous ideology. We live in a democracy where we have the right to protest and the right to make it clear when our voices are not heard. I recently protested against the Olympic ceremony outside the French embassy. I'm not sure if you saw it, complaining about how they depicted Jesus Christ, because I was unhappy with what I saw. And I think that when people feel like they have a voice, they're not likely to get violent. And the problem we have now is that people do not have a voice, which is why we're seeing rioting, which is why we're seeing looting, because people do not feel like there's a political solution any longer. And what I was trying to do is encourage people to stand up and make their voice heard in a peaceful way to avoid violence. Because when people feel like they're not heard, violence is always the end result.
Yeah, but you've actually had the complete opposite effect, and you know the massive following that you have and the influence that you can wield. And by spreading, I mean, again, you've repeated the fact this kid who has obviously now been charged with very serious crimes, including killing these 3 girls, was a migrant. He wasn't a migrant. He was born in Wales. His parents were legal immigrants from Rwanda. So he's not a migrant. He's somebody born in Wales, born in the United Kingdom.
Well, first things first, it's unfair for you to say that I've had an opposite effect. What I did was point out the facts of the situation, that a 17-year-old male killed little girls. If I point out the facts of the situation, that the sky is blue, and then people go and decide to riot because I've said those things, it does not mean those things are not true. That's the first thing. Secondly, here's where we have the dichotomy of the UK, and I actually think this conversation is going to be one of the most important and potent conversations of modern times, especially as this issue is not going to be solved anytime soon, Piers. The problem we have now in the UK is that we have a certain subsect of the population who, because he was born in Cardiff, he is a Welsh man. And we have another subsect of the population who believe that even if he was born in Cardiff, he is not Welsh. I'm currently in Romania. I'm an American and British citizen. The woman who I have a child with is Italian. The child was born in Romania. The Romanians do not consider that child Romanian, not by their view of the world. If I had a child in China, they would not consider that kid Chinese. They would look at the face shape of the child and say that's not a Chinese child. If I had a black child in Russia, they would not consider that child Russian. In the West, in the democracies, we do. But we have a problem because you now have you have a dichotomy of ideas, you have 2 different camps, and the camp that believe that this person perhaps isn't even Welsh in the first place are also the camp which are being suppressed and not allowed to speak and are being smeared and labeled as far right for having genuine concerns. And that is why things are getting exasperated and out of control. What we need is conversation, and what we need is dialect. You cannot have a multicultural democracy and ignore the concerns of one particular subsect of that culture, especially when it's the native culture, and expect everything to be fine forever. There's a lot of people who have a point of view. They didn't feel like they had a political solution anymore. And this is what's happening. The reason this dichotomy exists, Piers, please understand. If they are sitting there and they're accepting that this is a Welsh man, but now they're starting to get concerned for the safety of their children, and they don't feel like there's any kind of political solution, well, then they're going to come to the very simple and obvious conclusion that they'd rather not have anyone from anywhere else in their country to avoid these things happening again, because they don't feel like there's any other political solution. This is a fail of the politicians. This is a failure of the leaders. It is a job of a leader to inspire all of the people to have trust in him, not just some of the people, not just the people he likes, not just the people on his party or the people he wants. It is his job as a leader to have every single person in the country believe that he cares about the issue and he's doing something actively to fix it. Instead, what Keir did was stand up and do the absolute opposite. Shut down any legitimate concerns, tell people they don't have a voice, tell people nothing's going to change, is going to stay exactly the way it is. And let me tell you something. I want to make this very clear. There's a lot of people in the world who would rather go to jail and have a warm bed and 3 square meals a day than watch their children die. There's a lot of people who would rather go to jail than watch their society collapse in real time around them. There's a lot of people who would really rather go to jail than feel unsafe to walk the street at night ever again. These are people who have lived in the same place for a very long time. They have a vested interest in this geographical location. And without political solutions being offered, I don't know how hubristic you must be to sit and expect anything other than what we've seen. This is a failure of leadership. And that's what's so disappointing about it.
Wow, I just built the most amazing workflow on Monday.com.
You built your own workflow?
First of all Keir Starmer said, as far as I can see, is that he is going to take the full force of the law against people who committed acts of violence. And the violence that was perpetrated
called them
in the
far right.
Yeah, well, there were far-right thugs who were leading this, and they were attacking mosques. They were chanting anti-Muslim chants, and they were doing this because people had put out there. Hang on,
crowd. Would you say
you've had your say. I'm going to have my say now. It was put out falsely on social media that the person who did this was a Muslim. Not just a Muslim, but a Muslim who came in on one of the small boats, part of the very contentious, ongoing issue of the small boat. I'm not saying you did. I'm saying this is what was put out on social media in a series of false posts, which then went viral, right? So he was supposedly a Muslim. Not true. Supposedly came in on a small boat. Not true. Supposedly on an MI6.
What are you trying to say, bro? Like, what is niggas trying to say? Like, I'm trying to get it. Like, what if he's Muslim? What if he's not? What if he's Christian? What if he's Buddhist? Like, what are you trying to say? إذا هو كده كلهم كده, like, what the fuck?
أندرو نزل زي الصورة رسمة تبين إنه كذا شخص بملامح عربية ماسك سكين جاي في قارب.
Okay.
يا وقاعد يقول هذا افريج شخص من ويلز.
Okay. Now that I got some context, it's kind of, yeah, he knows what he's doing. He know what he's doing. Like, okay.
Watch list as a potential terrorist. Not true. None of this was true. And so on the back of that, far-right thugs who led this went up and attacked mosques, and they went and attacked hotels with asylum seekers in there waiting to be processed, and they was trying to set fire to them. Those are acts of despicable violence which were being led by far-right thugs. Now, not everybody involved in all these protests is a far-right thug. Some of them will be ordinary members of the public trying to legitimately protest peacefully. I completely accept it. But the ones who were leading it, who were committing the acts of violence and making the threats against the Muslim community, were doing so because they had been completely misled about who had done this. It was not a Muslim. It was not an illegal immigrant. It was not somebody on the MI6 watch list. It was none of those things. Now, you posted on July the 30th, the day after the killing, and I feel particularly incensed by the
MI6.
That the death.
You know what that is? You know what MI6 is?
Yeah, something like CIA, but in Britain.
Yeah, it's like the. Anyways, it's like you trying to tell me, إنه العمل الحاجة دي, they don't have no clue who that is. That's wild.
لا مسكوه لكن ما اعلنوا عنه. قال لك لانه تحت الامر القانوني.
So ممسوك الحين.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of these 3 young girls have been hijacked in such a reprehensible manner to attack Muslims when a Muslim had.
هذا هو؟
لا اندرو تيت شوف نشر مس انفورميشن. هذا شخص في ايرلند.
هذا شخص ايش؟
في ايرلند ما له دخل.
Straight off a boat.
مش قاعد يقول straight off a
You
boat.
put
Yeah.
this on July the 30th. You posted a picture saying this is the man from Cardiff. We're looking at this picture now. That murdered the little girl straight off a boat. You said, really?
That's crazy.
He wasn't straight off a boat because this wasn't the person who perpetrated the crimes. You got 4.3 million views for this. And a community notes clarified, this is not the man that killed, attacked the children and adults in Southport. This image is of Kasonga Mabulu, who was arrested in Ireland in 2023 for a random knife attack at Dublin Airport. So again, you know, 24 hours later, you're posting more.
Okay.
You're posting more. No, you're posting complete disinformation.
I'm sorry,
it's not okay.
Sir.
It's not okay.
No,
it
Piers,
was not the man.
Did I get the wrong stabber? Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, you did.
Piers Morgan, of course. I got the wrong stabber.
Yeah, you did.
And he certainly looked very Welsh to me. Let me make this clear. I'm a Muslim, and I think anybody who attacked a mosque is going to have to deal with God. I'm not worried about the full force of the law. They should worry about God itself. But I also want to make something very clear to all the people at home and clear to you that most of the white people are very frustrated and they're finding an enemy amongst themselves to take it out on. I think that the white people on these streets have a lot more in common with the brown people on these streets than they do with the politicians, because that's the problem we have here. Keir did not just only say they're going to face the full force of the law. He told everybody with a point of view, everybody who's concerned about the safety of their children, that they are extremists. And that is the most aggravating language you can possibly choose when people finally have had enough of not feeling safe on their own streets any longer. We have people who cannot afford to pay their bills watching migrants arrive who are now being held up in hotels at the taxpayers' expense for indefinite periods of time. We're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. Nobody voted for it. Nobody wants it. And everybody's struggling to pay their bills. Energy prices are through the roof. Inflation is
I ain't gonna lie. People in the U.S., y'all niggas got it bad, bro. Like, that's crazy, bro. Imagine you working a 9 to 5. You pay taxes. You are average citizen. You a taxpayer. You know what I'm saying? All your tax money is not being invested into making fucking roads and shit. It's not being invested into schooling and shit. It's given away to Ukraine to buy bombs and kill people. That's crazy to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. System is fucked. System is fucked.
Oh, that's real.
That is fucked, yeah, man. All you do is just get online and cry about free Palestine. When you paying for the bombs that's killing Palestine. Like, that's fucked. It is fucked. You're paying for it.
Now they no longer feel safe on their streets. They don't want to put their daughters outside to play. The police won't protect them. The police won't turn up for most crimes unless it's something you say bad on Facebook. And when they look for a political solution, they're ignored. What kind of powder keg are we building here through incompetent leadership in the UK? This is nothing but a leadership failure. There's not a country in the world where leadership could fail this spectacularly and see any
Andrew,
different result.
All right. But once again, Andrew, you are spouting nonsense in what you've just said. Not all of it, but some of it is nonsense. You say, for example, nobody voted for the UK to support Ukraine. We've literally just voted Keir Starmer in the United Kingdom with a landslide majority, and he made it crystal clear before that election that he would be contributing billions of our pounds to help the people of Ukraine thwart a Russian dictator. Well, you may laugh, but you just literally said the complete opposite. So we did actually vote for a leader and a party that was completely committed to dedicating billions of pounds of taxpayer money to helping people in Ukraine defeat Vladimir Putin. So that, again, is a complete untruth that you've just espoused.
I'm sure the people who are protesting up there in the north of England who can't afford to pay their bills, who are watching migrants live for free in hotels, who don't feel safe at night because the police don't have enough resources to turn up and respond to crime, are very happy that we're sending money to Ukraine. You're completely right. Yeah, the fact he only had 20% of the populist vote has nothing to do with it. And the fact that every single party will send money to Ukraine because we live in a uni-party system which is corrupt to the core in the first place. That's the reason why no matter who you vote for, the migrants keep coming. And no matter who you vote for, the money keeps getting siphoned out of the tax base and sent to Ukraine. That's the truth of it, is that most people are starting to realize and wake up from the matrix and understand there are no political solutions because it's all a scam and it's all a lie. What we need is people to understand at home that we have to think outside the box and vote for somebody who's not part of this two-party, uni-party insanity, which is why I was a fan of Nigel Farage. Even if he sells me down the river, even if he says I'm a bad person, that's his prerogative and that's his decision to make. I still believe he's the best choice as a leader for the UK.
Well, Nigel Farage is not just... Well, hang on. Nigel Farage has literally just chucked you under a monumental bus. He's gone on LBC radio and he said the reason that he himself was promoting complete nonsense about the person who committed these heinous crimes was because of people like you. Andrew Tate, he names you.
So he fucking says that you what, were my nigga? So fucking what? Oh, my cam shut off. I was about to say, chat, like, so fucking what, bro? Nigga, like, he threw me under the bus. It doesn't change nothing. If I feel like fuck feeling. If I know he's the best choice to be in that position, it doesn't change nothing. You know what I'm saying? ما بس عشان, you know what I'm saying, he said some bad things about me.
المشكلة شفت اللي صوتوا الأوكرانيا ترى مو كل البريطانيين اللي صوتوا مو الرئيس اللي يفوز يكون من حزب معين. اللي صوتوا حرفيا 20% من ذاك الحزب بس اللي وافقوا على رسالة الأوكران وهو يعتبر المجورتي في الحزب مش في بريطانيا فاهم؟ عشان كذا أندرو كان قاعد يضحك.
That is crazy, bro. Yo, politics is so like, man.
Responsible for spinning disinformation.
قاعد أقول لك الأغلبية اختاروا هذا الرجل بس ترى الأغلبية ما صوتوا الأوكران اللي صوتوا الأوكران أغلبية الحزب مش أغلبية الشعب.
That is crazy. That is insane, bro. That is fucking insane. When you even like, when you think about it, bro. Well, not think about it. If you like analytically view the votes, how much you want to bet? It's not even them. Like it's them. Like it's them, but it's not really them. It's like mind control. It's MK Ultra. It's like you like think about all the fucking where do people spend time? People spend time on social media. What if I can like gather, you know, like analytics, certain people, let's say London, UK. I know age groups, I know sex, I know demographic, like I know social media knows everything.
Religion,
everything. Birthdays, everything. Signs. They even know astrology. They can know when to target certain people because of the relation with this, you know what I'm saying?
You're active even from your phone activity.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. So when you really like, if you know all these things, you really think the people that voted for Ukraine, I'm a bet. Listen, it's not even, it's them, but it's not even them. It's mind control, bro. And I can bet you 1,000, like, bro, 90% to 85%, 85 to 90% of the voters is women, because women are emotional. All you gotta do is just throw some bombs or just throw some videos of fucking, you know, children crying or some shit on her feed when she's on a specific time of the month, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? She's at a specific time of the month that you know of. All you gotta do is just throw some videos on her feed. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just give us some videos and just give us some links. You know what I'm saying? Just give us some videos and give us some links. That's all you gotta do.
Wash your mind. Wash his mind.
I'm telling you. Like, when you really like step back and just look at the broader picture, bro, it's fucked. It is fucked.
On the MI6 watch list, the only thing I could have got incorrect is that he was an undocumented migrant. And if Nigel Farage has done that, that's his decision.
One perspective of the life.
I'm not here to tell him how to think.
Making you thinking like this is the whole life, right?
Not for sure. They make you think you are the person that thought of it, when whole time you're just not aware. You're just being manipulated. انت قاعد تتحرك زي الدمية and you're not even aware. It's crazy.
They show someone you think that's the enemy, and they give you the knife. The one thing that you can do it just to stab him, huh?
Oh God. بيلعب عليك على أساس إنه هو عدوك وفي like the whole time.
Yeah.
Nigga was, you know what I'm saying? It's not even what they tell you it is.
To be understanding that not everybody has to like me all of the time for me to agree with some of the things they say. The biggest problem we have in the world today is everybody's so emotional. everybody's so upset all the time that if somebody says something bad about them, they pretend that person's completely bad. Nobody is completely bad.
That's the
Nobody's
feminine.
completely evil.
That's the
Everybody
feminine side
loves
of
their
people.
children. Everybody wants to live in peace. A lot of
even men have feminine sides to them. It's just the control. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at people like Andrew Tate, it's like being at like the level that he's at, and I can see it because I'm there. Not like I'm not trying to see like, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about strictly like mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like spiritual alignment. You know what I'm saying? Where you can see things for what they are and not be swayed for what they look like.
He is a natural ENTJ. That's why.
When you can see things for what they are, okay, that's the divine masculine trait. That's a, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, now you can make, like, now you have discernment. That what's called discernment. Like, you're able to discern. You're able to make decisions that are not swayed by emotion. See, 90% of people don't have that discernment. They're not able to combine intuition with logic. You know what I'm saying? Discernment is where intuition and logic meet. It's the union of the of both these masculine and feminine traits. So being at that level is 90% of people. Bro, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Like, bro, trust me. And that's what the elites know. And 99%.
Piers Morgan is in that level, okay, but he is like the brainwasher himself.
Now, Morgan, listen, Morgan is kind of like, I don't know. I probably watched Morgan twice in my life. And from what I can tell, this is probably the second time I watched this nigga. From what I can tell, he do have some, you know what I'm saying? It's either he's aware of the emotion that he's like, because when he's talking, I can sense.
He's like a robot.
Yeah, like, nah. I can sense a little bit of like, you know what I'm saying, feminine energy because, you know what I'm saying, when you cut the nigga off, like he's not just, you know what I'm saying, like you try to cut this nigga off, that's what he gonna do. Oh, you cutting me? You cut me off. Why you let me talk? Huh? Why you not talking? Like, bro, shut your ass up, bro. Why you sound like a bitch, my nigga? Why you sound like a bitch, my nigga? Yo, I cut you off. Then what, nigga? And what? Like, don't just like, you feel me? Like, just shut your ass up, nigga. Damn. Like when you have that self control.
انت ما كملت البودكاست راح تشوف ذا الشيء 2000 مرة.
انا عارف I know. Listen, I tell you, I can see. لكن this nigga is slightly into the like, I believe, you know what I believe? He knows what he's doing. He knows.
Yeah. He knows what's the wrong and he knows what's the right. He has the media.
He knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So whatever he's doing it on purpose. When you give that type of emotion, it's like, you know what I'm saying? For this nigga, it must be tough. He's making it tough for him. That's what he's doing.
يحاول يطلع العواطف اللي تقدر تغسل دماغ المشاهد مو تغسل دماغه وهو عارف ان ذا الشيء غلط وعارف الشيء صح.
It's not even just the views. It's like he trying to throw him off balance. That's what I'm noticing. It's like whenever this nigga is trying to make a counter, like he's trying to like he's trying to make a counter argument to what Tate is saying. It's like he's trying to throw him, like he's trying to throw off the balance that Tate got, and he's just not being swayed. That's what I noticed. You know what I'm saying? Being at the level that I'm at, it's like, okay, I see what he's doing, and he's not falling for it. That's the thing. That's why I fuck with dude, because he's not falling for that. You know what I'm saying? He's maintaining the balance within himself, within his vessel.
اندرو ضد بيرس كأنك تشوف عارف طريقتين تفكير جدا مختلفات مدرستين تفكير مختلفات ضد بعض عارف
for sure.
غاسل الدماغ والمقاوم لغسل الدماغ فاهم علي؟
It's like Neo and the other nigga with the fucking with the glasses. It's like Neo and you watch the movie The Matrix?
Yeah.
It's like the I need to watch that movie again. I know it's so many truths in that movie, bro. It's crazy. It is insane. I heard people say it's not even a movie, it's a documentary. It's literally something that's real life.
أنا حسيت في Game of Thrones و The Hound قصة مثل ذي عارف.
Yeah. I'm not watching Game of Thrones though. That shit is dead.
والله Game of Thrones حنكة مرة.
I'm not watching that shit, bro.
People talk about the idea.
حنكة مرة تطبق على الواقع تدرس صراحة.
Nah, man, I'm not watching that.
A lot of people talk that if somebody says something bad about them, they pretend that person's completely bad. Nobody is completely bad. Nobody is completely evil. Everybody loves their children. Everybody wants to live in peace. A lot of people talk about the idea of war, but let me promise you, Piers, I'm a person who's had a very varied life. When you see people with machetes outside your door threatening you and the police aren't answering the phone anymore, you don't want war. The Muslims want peace. The white natives of the UK, the Christians want peace. Everybody wants peace. But when you have a political class which refuse to listen to absolutely anybody, do whatever they want, grind everyone into poverty irregardless, then you're going to have some sort of uprising. And it's unfortunate that the poor people, and I call them poor, I mean the average person, is turning on the average person as opposed to turning on the rich elites who are just plundering the country. That's the truth of what's happening here.
Well, what is...
You watched
I think what is really...
We played it. Yeah, the only thing I had incorrect was that he was undocumented. That's the only thing you could perhaps say he was incorrect. The London stabbing, Piers. The London Bridge attack, he was born in Pakistan. You want to see him talk about how a large contingent of the people committing terror attacks in the UK and the most heinous crimes are not natively English people. And when we need to sit here and address this without being called racist, without being called far right,
without
I'm a mixed
emotion,
race Muslim, and I'm pointing out.
You know what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to say. Like, put all the emotions to the side. We have to just pure logic. Let's just pure logic this motherfucker. Let's just roll dog logically.
It's truth. If we're not going to be able to point out the truth, what do you expect besides anger?
Well, I mean, the sheer brass neck, frankly, Andrew, of you lecturing me about the truth when you've spent the last week spewing complete fake news bullshit is breathtaking, right? And also, I would say you've also been spewing stuff that is blatantly...
Yo, this nigga got so much self-control, bro. Yo, this nigga, I can tell, bro, this smile, bro. I felt it, bro. Like, oh shit. I felt it. It was right there. It was about to just, but okay, hey, you a better man. Listen, man, I'm telling you this.
Another
Nah, this he swallowed the fuck out that shit. Look. As soon as I knew he knows, bro. It's tactic, bro. I can see what you're trying to. I can see, bro, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot to have that control. I'm telling you, bro.
Fake news bullshit is breathtaking, right? And also, I would say you've also been spewing stuff that is blatantly racist. On the 1st of August, you posted a cartoon saying, typical man from Cardiff. Let's look at that cartoon. This has had 11 million views.
Yeah, it's a taxpayer. It's a migrant arriving on the boat with taxpayers' money, and I think a lot of people are upset about that. I want to make something clear because I'm a Muslim myself.
Well, when you say typical man from Cardiff, when you say typical, when you say typical man from Cardiff, you are again telling people that in your estimation, the person that committed this came in as an illegal migrant on a boat. That is not true. None of that is true.
Well, what I'm actually doing, Piers, because you may not be aware of this because you're part of the legacy media machine, which is why you defended Israel so heavily.
I'm on YouTube.
You're not allowed to have your own opinion.
I'm on YouTube.
YouTube is not part of the media. It's not media. It's YouTube. It's red. It can't be media if it's red. I mean, it's YouTube. It's not media. Oh, what are you talking
media?
You're part of
حرفيا هذا اللي كان قاعد يقول له طول الساعة.
What the fuck are you talking about? Nigga, people is not on TV. Nobody's watching cable. I don't even have cable in my crib. Nigga, I don't watch TV. Hello? Where you live at? 2024. Nobody watching cable. Nobody watching satellites. Nobody watching television. Who watching television in 2024? All the media is online, streaming platforms, Netflix, YouTube, IG, Twitter, or X.
Even my granddad don't doing that.
Twitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where the people get the media from. Online, social media. That's crazy. That's a crazy point to make. That's a crazy debate. You can never win that, bro. It's impossible. Trying to convince people that YouTube is not media. What the fuck are you talking about?
This will go up, as you know.
Perfect. I understand exactly how the media machine works. The fact that they kept highlighting that he's from Cardiff and showing pictures of him as a child as opposed to showing pictures of him as the large, barbaric man he was, which stabbed those little girls, was a deliberate PR spin by the propaganda arm of the British government to try and subvert and subdue the UK populace because they knew everybody would be outraged by what they saw. That's why every picture of him is he's a kid.
Honestly,
they keep saying he's from Cardiff. This was set up on purpose. Now, the point I was making is as far as
like a killer, man. Piers Morgan.
He knows what he's doing. It's a jab. You don't see it. A lot of people not gonna see it. A lot of people's not gonna see it, but it's mental, bro. It's mental. If you see it, you see it. It's like if you know type vibes, and it's just like I
feel like he is knowing the truth, but he is lying to himself to feel that the confidence in his mind. I mean, Piers Morgan. He's lying to himself.
People coming in illegally armed
yes
on
no?
little boats
yes or no?
because you want people to think that
I'm saying, like, I don't even know he's trying to sway he's trying to knock Tate's balance, but the nigga is not. He's like, okay, you know what I'm saying, هو بيحاول انه ينزل لمستويات متدنية من طيب قالوا كده, knowing that it's dumb, knowing the argument is for NPCs. The only people that's going to gravitate towards this type of questions or ask these types of questions is NPCs that are fucking clueless about life. So him knowing that, this nigga knows what it is. He knows, but he's trying to play stupid.
بيرس مورغان ترى يستخدم اسلوب كانوا زمان يستخدموه الرومان في التحقيق. الطريقة اللي يعطيك سؤال والسؤال هذا ما في شيء اسمه يس اور نو, بس هو يطلب يس اور نو. يعني الإجابة تكون يس ولكن لا مو يس بالكامل.
For 90%.
لكن هو يقعد يطلب منك ويردد إنه يس اور نو.
Yeah, for 90% of the people that's going to watch this shit, bro, they're not gonna get it, bro. Because 90% of the planet is just fucking bots, bro. But this
ترى أغلب الكومنتات يمدحوا في بيرس كانوا في البداية, بعدين جاوا فانزات أندرو قاعد يعد.
Yeah. It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck what these NPCs is talking about. I ain't gonna lie. Bots, you can be a bot. Just, you know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here. It's not gonna sway me. You know what I'm saying? If you at a certain point, bro, like you stop caring about what these bots is talking about. You a bot, my nigga. Like what am I wasting energy explaining to you? You are so deep
المشكلة
that you don't even like.
المشكلة من بعد منشورات أندرو في 5 مساجد انهدت ترى من الفرايت. فأغلب المسلمين قلبوا على أندرو, فاهم؟ وهو بيرس مورغان قاعد يلعب على هذا الشيء, قاعد يحاول يقول إنه أندرو ضد الإسلام.
Yo, niggas is fucking bots, bro.
عشان يطيح مين الفان بيس حق أندرو أصلاً, المسلمين, فاهم؟
Niggas is fucking bots, bro. Oh my god.
يا قاعد يستهدف أكبر نقطة عند أندرو, فاهم؟ الفان بيس المسلمين اللي عنده. فأنا طول المقطع قاعد أقول يعني بيرس مورغان ذكي في اختيار البوينت, عارف اللي قاعد يستهدفه. ولكن أندرو
I will tell you, he knows what he's doing. But it's, you know what's sad, bro? I'm looking at these people, these sheeps, bro. I'm looking at the sheep. The fucking sheep. It's sad.
أندرو with his fighter mental, عارف الولد كان في MMA يعني عقليته كلها متمحورة حوالين القتال والفوز.
I'm telling you, bro. It gets really like, because you're trying to imagine trying to save the very people that are trying to drown you. They're trying to kill you when you're trying to save them. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing right now. It's just, I don't give a fuck about this nigga. Let's you know what I'm saying? Because I know what's behind him. I know the angle. Okay, I see from a unique perspective. Let's call it. I can see from a unique perspective that allows me to. I see what Tate is trying to do, and I see what Morgan is trying to do, and what saddens me the most is the position of the people, because these two bodies, okay, that's two separate bodies. The people in the middle, that's what saddens me the most, because I know what I know, and man,
مورغان يخاطب البيس الفان بيس حق اندرو، واندرو يخاطب المنطق في ذا البودكاست كان.
Yeah, let's just
رجعت والله I was watching and what the fuck
19 and 30 minutes in.
The person that did this was that person.
I mean, 19 minutes and 30 seconds.
You cut out there, Piers. I think I understood you. I'm a Muslim myself, so there's no reason why I want any kind of violence against Muslims. That's the first thing that's very clear. And I want to make something else very clear. I'm actually in a quite unique scenario as a Muslim revert, half black, half white. I've had both sides of this dichotomy try and recruit me, perhaps. I can't be taught to hate anybody. There's no Muslim alive who can teach me to hate anybody, and there's no white man alive who can teach me to hate anybody. There's no hate in my heart. There's only love.
That's what I'm saying. If you know the truth, it's a certain level of truth. Truth is universal. That's one thing about the truth. Wherever you go, whenever you go, you're gonna find the same truth. If you look hard enough, it comes back to one. You can't. It's only so many lies you can tell. لكن حبل الكذب قصير. That's what they taught us. Lies, you can only lie so much. It's inevitable. Truth is universal. You know what I'm saying? If you look hard enough, there's only one truth. It's only one. Not two, not 1.5. It's one. So, knowing the truth, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain level. It's no hate. It's only love. Even for the people that's trying to hate. Even for the people that's trying to kill. You know what I'm saying? And that's deep. That's deep. That's a deep concept within itself. Like, it's just, you know, for the 90% of people, 90% of these bots on planet Earth, it's too much. The processing is just not there. They're just not able to process it yet. And that's why we have people like, you know what I'm saying? That's why people like me exist. That's why people like him exist. That's why people like, you know, Luke Ballmar exists. That's why all the people that's trying to increase the processing power of these fucking bots, whoever you are, whatever the field you're in, if you're trying to increase the processing power of the bots you're surrounded by, we are on the same mission. You're doing sacred work. You're doing something that's great, and I salute. I just, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I see a real nigga, I salute because I know myself. And one thing about real always recognizes real. You know what I'm saying? Real recognize real. So when I see. And I can do nothing but respect it. You know what I'm saying?
But when you have love, you have protectiveness. And you have to feel a
protectiveness. Say that again.
Me try and recruit me, perhaps. I can't be taught to hate anybody. There's no Muslim alive who can teach me to hate anybody, and there's no white man alive who can teach me to hate anybody. There's no hate in my heart, there's only love. But when you have love, you have protectiveness. And you have to feel a protectiveness for the things you care about. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. We call people hateful all the time for having a point of view, especially when they get out on the street because they feel like they need to express it. A lot of these people were not hateful. A lot of these people were full of love, and they were full of concern. I put up that cartoon,
encouraged people to feel hateful.
ترى هذا الكلام اللي قاله أندرو هذا سيزون 2 فيلن ساغا كامل متجسد عليه.
هذا سيزون 2 من ايش؟
فيلن ساغا.
فيلن ساغا. اوكي. سوينا عليه رياكشن هذاك. اوكي. عرفته. فيلن ساغا. Yo, I gotta drop the video. You just reminded me. It's just sitting on my PC. I gotta drop the anime reaction video. That shit was funny.
أنت سويته على الانمي كامل ولا على سيزون معين؟
No. يوم كنا في الديسكورد, like when we was talking about animes, you know what I'm saying, مخلوقات بنتن was it, you know what I'm saying? We was talking about Benton, some random shit like openings and fucking anime openings and shit. Yeah, that shit was funny. I gotta drop that.
والله فيلن ساغا صراحة كان يجسد سيزون 2 بالنسبة لي واو. عارف المايند اللي فيه واو. يعني الكاتب وصل مرحلة من النضوج مرة كبيرة.
I might have to check it out. I ain't gonna lie. I might have to.
سيزون 1 كان طفولي صراحة ما راح أكذب، ولكن سيزون 2 جدا واو. والله كنت.
Literally encourage people to feel
I
hateful.
might have to, chat. Like, I might have to get.
You've encouraged people to feel hateful because you've encouraged people to believe the person that did this crime, this alleged person that did it, because he's going to court, not to let the process do its due process. But the person who's been charged with the crimes of killing these poor girls is not an illegal migrant. But you wanted to demonize illegal migrants by what you've been doing in the last week. You wanted people to believe this was one of the people who come over on a boat illegally into this country, part of the so-called invasion. And here's the interesting thing about your position with regard to your conversion to Islam and becoming a Muslim. Muslims, as you know, have been ranting about you for the last few days and utterly betraying them because you've decided to associate yourself with Tommy Robinson.
And that's why I
can see it's plain as daylight. I can see when people was trying to play emotion. بيلعبوا على الوتر حق المشاعر. I can sense, I see it.
والله هذه success ترى. If you didn't see the Muslim protest versus Andrew, والله that was fucking shit. والله they hate him a lot right now.
Because you've decided to associate yourself with Tommy Robinson, who is a far-right thug, who has been spewing utter Islamophobic, anti-Muslim rhetoric. Associate yourself with Tommy Robinson, who is a far-right thug, who has been spewing utter horrible Islamophobic, anti-Muslim rhetoric all week, and yet you have not distanced yourself from him. So the Muslim community in the UK now view you as part of the enemy too. You know that. How do you feel about that?
Well, y'all can suck my dick.
For my brothers, and I think the one.
Imagine he said that. Well, y'all can suck my dick. I don't give a fuck.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I pray for my brothers, and I think the information I've seen,
let me log in, Let me
have not been hateful from the Islamic community. Saying to Tommy Robinson that I will debate him on issues, I don't think is failing to distance myself. I debate you all the time, Piers, and we disagree on basically everything. I'm happy to argue with Tommy because we disagree on so many different points of view, and I think it's very important that we have conversation. The reason these riots are happening in the first place is because everybody's afraid to talk. I'm prepared to sit down with somebody I don't like and don't agree with.
That's complete nonsense.
To talk to Tommy.
That's nonsense. The reason the riots are happening is people like you and Tommy Robinson have been spewing utter disinformation, which has led people to believe that the person that perpetrated these despicable crimes was an illegal Muslim migrant who was on the MI6 terror watch list.
Firstly,
right. I'm saying you and Tommy Robinson, between you, okay. I'm saying between you,
but where's the logic failure?
A completely false impression.
There's a logic failure of lumping me in with somebody who I don't agree with and saying, "Oh, you and him."
So do you denounce Tommy Robinson?
Tommy Robinson and I disagree on a whole bunch of issues, and I think he's completely incorrect on his view of Islam. We're not playing this game of constant denouncing.
Do you denounce him for inciting the rioting?
I denounce him for everything bad he said about Islam. He's absolutely incorrect, and I cannot be his friend or support him for that reason.
No, for inciting the rioting by telling people it was a Muslim illegal migrant.
It's not for me. It's not for me to decide who has incited the rioting, and it's not for you to decide.
Wow, you can't denounce that.
A court denounce what? I'm not going to sit here and say who's in charge of the riots because nobody knows.
Telling people he was an illegal Muslim.
My view on why the riots happened is because I believe that the native population, the Christian population of the UK, feels like their voice is not heard. I think if their voice was heard and they had correct political
that's not why the riots happened.
Things would not be happening.
That's not why the riots
exactly
happened.
The riots
happened.
Piers.
The riots happened because people
because things are written on social media all day, every day.
No, Andrew.
And there's no riots.
No, Andrew.
People finally had enough. After endless attacks where they felt like they did not get a voice anymore politically. When you don't have a political avenue, you're going to choose a violent one. I think Tommy is wrong about Israel, just like you were, because you were supporting the genocide in Gaza, and I stood up against you for that. I think Tommy's wrong on a whole bunch of issues.
Genocide in Gaza.
He has a voice. Yes, you were. He has a voice, and I'm prepared to sit here and debate with him, and I'm prepared to correct him on the things he's wrong about. And for you to sit and then you support a genocide, and you're going to say I'm a bad person for saying that little girls shouldn't get stabbed by people who don't belong in the UK in the first place. I don't care if you're a Muslim, I don't care if you're a Christian, black or white.
Okay.
Nobody should be turning up into the country without a passport.
I'm going to
Absolutely
respond.
Nobody.
I'm going to respond by saying this. I believe the successive Labour and Conservative governments have completely lost control of immigration to our country, both legal and illegal. They all promised tens of thousands net migration. It's never happened. We now had nearly 1 million people come in last year, net 700, 800,000, whatever it is, most of them legally, completely outrageously large number, which is unsustainable for a country as small as the United Kingdom. We've also got a big issue with, although a much smaller issue, I would argue, with the illegal people coming in on these boats and some of them dying in the process, which is an appalling human tragedy perpetrated by evil traffickers. And this has to be dealt with. So on that, I completely agree. My issue with what's happened in the last week is that we've got Elon Musk talking about there now is going to be an inevitable civil war in the United Kingdom. And I've noticed what he hasn't done, I've called him out on this today, in his series of attacks on Keir Starmer, the new British Prime Minister, he has tried to paint a picture that there is one rule of policing the right-wing thugs who've been attacking mosques.
Did he try?
Well, they have, as you know, and another rule for Muslims walking around armed to the teeth looking for white people to attack. I think both are completely reprehensible, and I'm easily able to say that. The problem is Elon Musk has said nothing condemnatory about the initial rioting, which has continued to go on, which has been anti-Muslim and directly targeting mosques and Muslims for something that they had nothing to do with, which was the killing of these children. And I have a massive problem with that. Yeah. And you have booked yourself if you don't.
People are bots. That's what it is. People are fucking bots. People are fucking bots. They don't know the truth. They're not conscious of the truth. They're unaware. That's what I would say. I don't want to say phrases that, you know, like, I just want to make it as clear as possible. People are just not aware. That's what it is. They're just not aware. If somebody said, okay, somebody killed somebody, okay, I heard somebody killed, let's say one of my homies died, you know what I'm saying? And somebody somewhere on the internet somewhere said, okay, Christian or Christian people, Muslim people, Buddhist people was the reason behind it. Or the person that did that thing was quote unquote Muslim, quote unquote Buddhist, quote unquote. He was something. And for me to attack innocent people practicing their faith in a place that is sacred to them is nothing but me being unaware. If somebody killed my homie and that certain somebody belonged to a certain faith, does that mean, or does that give me the right to go and just blow up mosques, blow up churches, cathedrals? It does not. It just means that I'm unaware that everybody is different. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? There are good Muslims, there are bad Muslims, there are good
fucking المرعب انك تروح لمكان تروح لمكان فيه اطفال وتقتلهم بس مجرد اعتقاد عندك مثلا، عارف انه هذا الشيء والله عادي، ذول كفار لو قتلتهم عادي يعني، فاهم؟ كانوا يرقصوا، فاهم يعني، على سبيل المثال يعني. والله الفيث اللي ممكن توصل بهذا الشكل هذا شيء مرعب صراحه. الانسان كيف يقدر يوصل لهذا الشيء؟ عارف؟ It's like what the fuck.
Every life is precious. Every life is precious.
يعني
we don't kill people just because they don't believe in the same things we believe in.
Yeah. فشيء مجنون. ما نفكر فيها يعني، هل من جد الله راح يطلب منك تقتل ناس بريئين ثانيين؟ ليش؟
That's not your judgment to make. Whoever you are, whoever did that is not your judgment. It's not your call.
أنا أقصد لو في إنسان وصل لقناعة إنه والله هذا مو من نفس دينه في حلال أقتله، يعني هل الله راح يطلب منك إنك تقتل شخص مو من نفس دينك؟ يعني ليش؟ عرفت؟ It's like why يعني، عرفت؟ يعني ليش ما تضمه لفريقك؟ ليش لا تخليه عدوك؟ فاهم؟ اذا ما هو مو فريقك، اذا ما هو معك ترى مو ضدك. عارف يعني
في الاسلام اساسا الشيء ده حرام، انه انت تقتل نفس
يا انا عارف،
النفس الذي حرم الله قتلها الا بالحق.
بس انا اقصد
عرفت
انا
يعني
اقصد
لازم تكون
اللي
في
يزرعوا الارهاب.
سبب.
فاهم؟
ايوه بيكوز وهم بيقدروا ليه اصلا بيقدروا يزرعوا الارهاب؟ لانه people are fucking bots, people are clueless, people are so docile bro, people are so fucking dumb.
اغسل له دماغه واوريك الفيديو
yeah.
بشكل ممنهج، عارف، خلال الاسبوع. واربط الاشياء السيئه في جماعه معينه ما هي من ضمنهم، واكيد راح يتوجه عليهم. الان في عنصريه جدا قويه قاعده تنمو، وانا ملاحظها في السوشيال ميديا. راح تلاحظ بعد فتره ذا الفايت، عارف، بين الاتراك والالمان. عارف انا ملاحظ ذا الشيء. لك جالس وات ذا فك، عارف ايش دخل الاتراك؟ عارف ايش دخل الاتراك يعني؟ اي هجوم على والله ملحمه تركيه اللي تبغاه. عارف اي شيء له علاقه باي مشكله في المانيا، والله تاخر الباصات، المانيا صارت الباصات تتاخر، يقول لك هذا بسبب الاتراك. عارف انا ما اعرف ايش دخل الاتراك لحد الحين. انا مصدوم. عارف سويسرا قطعت علاقتها مع المانيا في القطارات. عارف الالمان ايش قاعدين يقولوا؟ ذات بيكاز اوف توركش بيبل. عارف توركش بيبل اغلبهم يسوقوا القطارات، فعشان كذا القطارات قاعده تتاخر. لا عارف المشكله مو زي كذا يعني. عارف المشكله يعني الاتراك موجودين بكثره من التسعينات في المانيا. هذه المشكله بدات تظهر في 2020 بعد كورونا. ايش دخل الاتراك؟ لو الاتراك كانت من زمان. فاهم يعني في اشياء غبيه يعني، مجرد اوريهم شيء بشكل ممنهج.
ايوه الناس حرفيا بوتات سبايك.
انا عشان قاعد اتعلم بولش من فتره طويله، فقاعد اشوف البولش كوميونتي. عارف دحين عندهم طلعه جديده، عنصريه ضد مين؟ حزر يمين بين كل اجناس الارض.
مين؟
عارف الاماراتيين والسعوديين. عارف انت وات عارف ايش دخل؟ يقول لك ليش الاماراتيين يجي لابسين الزي الوطني حقهم في زكوباني هذه منطقه عندهم. طبعا 3 مناطق بس في بولند فيها جبال، هي كلها في ساوث بولند. عارف وهذه افضل واحده فيهم، التوب 1 البيك. هذه افضل ما توصل له العلم عندهم في بولند. فليش في واحد اماراتي او سعودي يلبس صوب في المنطقه؟ هم زعلانين. عارف هذا مكاننا حنا. عارف المفضل. عارف والاعلام عندهم الفايت بين السنترال والليفت والفار ليفت كلهم في كفه، و60% اوف ذا بولش بيبل فار رايت، حتى مو رايت فار رايت 60%. انت تخيل. عارف فانت لما تجي تبين الكوميونتي تقول لهم والله صارت اسمها كحبيبي كم تو زكوباني. هذا كان المقطع اللي جاب 22 مليون مشاهده في البولش كوميونتي. عدد سكان بولند كم؟ 40 مليون، نص سكان بولند شاف المقطع. تخيل. عارف المقطع يقول حبيبي كم تو زكوباني. قاعدين يبينوا لك المسجد في زكوباني و4 مطاعم كاتبين حلال. عارف حلال فود. عارف قاعدين يقول لك خلاص هذه مسلم لاند. عارف از نوت اور بليس يعني، رغم انها افضل منطقه طبيعيه في بولند، ناتشرال بليس يعني. انت تشوفها تقول جنه الله في الارض. والله اتس بيتر ذان سويسرلاند تو مي يعني. وانا صوت اتس بيتر ذان سويسرلاند نوت جون لاي. ولكن البروباغندا اللي تنزرع هناك شيء مجنون. عارف السلافيك اليونانيين، الوست سلافيك واليونانيين لغاتهم غريبه. تمام لغاتهم غريبه، وبالعاده دول الناس ما عندهم اتصال مع بقيه الكوميونيتيز يعني، ما يتكلموا انجلش كثير. فاهم؟ فلما تسوي لهم غسيل دماء، ما في اول شيء ما راح تحصل الناس المعاكسه، التيار المعاكس اللي يصد هذا غسيل الدماغ. ليش؟ كم في انسان يعرف بولندي تعرفه؟ عدد المتكلمين البولنديه بالنسبه لسكان بولند 1% اصلا. عارف يعني ما في اصلا احد قاعد يتعلم باللغه. عارف فما حد راح يعرف انت ايش قاعد تقول له. ما عارف ما
حيكون في اوبوزيشن اصلا.
ما راح يكون اصلا في منافس لك او عدو لك. وراح تحصل نفس الشيء في اليونانيين يكرهوا الاتراك من متى؟ يا الهي من عام 500 ميلادي، وانا اقرا في تاريخ اليونان الاسباب اتفه مما يكون يا شيخ. يعني سلموا على بعض يا اصحاب، كل واحد يروح البيت. عارف يعني انتم المشاكل بينكم اتفه من ذا الشيء. عارف حروب وما اعرف ايش يعني.
والله دعس على الشوذ الجوردن حقي. تدعس شوذ يا كلب تعال.
حرفيا
زين. كريزي
والله ذاتس كريزي.
ليش الضارب؟ والله طول في الحمام والله.
المشكلة في مشكلة أكبر يعني الآن قاعدة تنمو برضه بين ألبانيا. أتوقع الحرب الجاية الأساسية اللي راح تبين الحرب العالمية من جد هي ما بين ألبانيا وصربيا. يا ألبانيا وصربيا تمام، يا جورجيا وروسيا، واحدة منهم، يا جورجيا وروسيا يا ألبانيا وصربيا. جورجيا وروسيا أعتقد ما حد راح يتدخل يعني. كمون you wanna fight Russia.
أنا شايف يعني. أنا شايف إنه الإشو هنا بالنسبة للبولند people بالنسبة لكل people it's just people is just so disconnected وفوق كذا ignorant فاهم يعني. هم غير إنهم disconnected برضو في جهل
مفصولين وهم هم هم ايش قصدك مغيبين
yeah
حرفيا.
so I don't know when people like, hold on, let me say this. I don't know when people is going to watch this video or just, you know what I'm saying? So I want to just leave this message. I don't know if you're watching this in 2030, 2075, 3001. I just want to say humanity is not going to go nowhere unless people find out that we are all one. Ultimately, we go back to the same source. So I mean, it's differences for sure. You know what I'm saying? Some people is different from other. They have differences for sure. Like, it's that respect when you know that whoever is standing in front of you is, you know what I'm saying? When you know the truth, it's inevitable. And remember I told you it's only one truth. So when you find that out, in you know what I'm saying? It's like, because I can see like in al-mustaqbal, like the future is not, it's not gonna be as disconnect. Like the whole world is, you're gonna have to be attached to something, a grid somewhere. You're gonna have to be, because that's the plan. You know what I'm saying? One system, one religion, you know what I'm saying? Them people. So it's inevitable. It's inevitable that you're going to be connected somewhere. Like even the fucking people on the, like if you live on an island somewhere, even if you live on the islands, you've never, you know what I'm saying, like you never met, it's going to be a time that, you know, you're going to be connected to some people. So when that time comes, humanity is not going to be able to thrive without knowing the truth, because humanity, they're going to end they're going to end humanity because of how much disconnect they have. So my advice to y'all people, my advice to humanity, just respect each other. You know what I'm saying? Know the truth. Find yourself. Respect people. Love people. Don't hate. Don't kill. Don't steal. Almost every single religion says the same thing. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to be, just follow what's inside, because everybody has it within them. Even animals has it within them. So yeah, just follow that, you know. In you know, humanity is going to be able to thrive, and if not, that's crazy, bro. It's gonna be
والله المشكلة الناس زي البولش بيبل. والله أنا أقول لك ذول الناس، تعرف اللي كان تعرف اللي I'm gonna die for some shit and don't give a fuck. عارف حرفيا إذا وجهته على شيء
like crash out dummies, like they just crash out.
يعني مثلا لو قلت له والله هذا العدو وجهته، أنت تعرف إنه الجيش البولندي كم عدد الناس في القوات؟ 200,000. عارف أنت تعرف كم الناس اللي يتدربوا في شركات خاصة للقتال؟ تعرف كم؟ 2,500,000. عارف حرفيا الناس دول عارف متأهبين لأي حرب. أنت تعرف ليش؟ هذه أكثر دولة في العالم تم احتلالها. البولش بيبل أكثر دولة في العالم تم احتلالها. بولندا 17 مرة تم احتلالها من السويد، ألمانيا، بروسيا، روسيا. 17 تايم. يعني آخر 100 سنة الحالة 3 مرات، واحدة من ليثوانيا، واحدة من روسيا، واحدة من ألمانيا النازية. يعني it's like what the fuck. عارف هذول حرفيا كانوا مهمشين لطول العمر، عارف، ولا زالوا متمسكين باللغة وبالتقاليد وبالعادات وبكل شيء. فاهم انت لما تجي هذول ناس يعني الان هم لحد الحين قاعدين يعيشوا في الكوميونيزم، فاهم؟ لحد الحين قاعدين يعيشوا في الشيوع تقريبا الاشتراكيه، عارف، ولا الشيوعيه، بس بشكل راس مالي. يعني الان لما تيجي تشوف راتب الدكتور عندهم 10000 زلوتي، عارف عملتهم انت، خلينا نقول 10000 درهم. راتب عامل نظافه 7000 درهم. راتب افضل مهندس في الدوله 11000 درهم. راتب الرئيس 15000 درهم، عارف؟ الفروقات اللي بينهم جدا طفيفه لدرجه انه يكاد يكونوا كلهم ميدل كلاس، عارف الشعب، فاهم؟ فترى هذه الفلوس اللي استلمها حرفيا يقدر يحوش منها يمكن بس كم 1%، عارف، نهايه الشهر. هذا الفلوس اللي يعطوه اياه قده بالضبط. فلما يجي يصير اي متغير عليه، يعني لدرجه انه لجوء ولا اي شيء، يحس فيه المواطن فيكون مشحون بالغضب. اول ما ينشحن بالغضب عندهم الميديا كلها فار رايت، عندهم فار رايت مش رايت وينج، فار رايت على الاخر، عارف؟ فالميديا عندهم دايركت لومين مسلمز جيرمانز. جيرمانز، تعرف انه الدوله الوحيده اللي ما تعوضت من الجيرمانز هي بولند من الاحتلال النازي. لانهم كانوا تحت الاتحاد السوفيتي، والاتحاد السوفيتي سامح النازيين، فقال لهم لا خلاص، عرفت؟ فهم ما اخذوا تعويض. لحد الحين دمار الحرب موجود في مدن زي فورت سوا، مش قادرين يصلحوه. ف انت لما تجي لذا المواطن تقول له والله شفت هذا المانيا، شفت هذا اللي تعرف ايش مراد تعوضك المانيا، هذا اللي ينقال عندهم. المانيا مو راضيه تعوضك لان المانيا مو قادره تسدد لك الفلوس بسبب انه عندها لاجئين كثير. انت تعرف ايش قاعدين يتكلموا؟ المانيا رابع اقوى اقتصاد في العالم. شي قضى ماني، عارف؟ شي just what doesn't want to give you، عارف؟
اقوى الرابع اقوى اقتصاد في العالم.
يا المانيا
ايوه.
توب 1 امريكا، توب 2 تشاينا، 3 جابان، 4 المانيا، عارف؟
BMW is going crazy. That's why niggas been buying the fuck out them BMWs. BMW قاعد تكرر الاقتصاد.
مرسيدس فلكس فاجن
حرفيا اليوم قبل كم ساعة قبل كم ساعة كنا قاعد نتكلم عن الصناعة الألمانية البي ام دبليو تحديدا، كنا قاعد نتكلم عنها. It's crazy. حرفيا قاعد تكرر الاقتصاد.
الدولة الوحيدة اللي راح تسوي نهضة ألمانيا عندنا في العرب يعني بشكل عام، أنا أقول لك موروكو، عارف؟ والله they are building something else، عارف؟ والله موروكو في
المغرب ديالنا أحسن بلاد. المغرب ديالنا
والله لا المغرب والله they are cooking. يعني الآن من بعد سنة 2021 للآن، يعني بسبب الخطة اللي خطوها 2011، عارف؟ من 2021 للآن ما في ولا طيارة في العالم بالخدمة إلا وفيها البلاك بوكس مصنوع في المغرب. للدرجة دي يعني ما في ولا طيارة سرق. you will never find، عارف؟ شركة بوينغ عندها قسم تطوير صار في المغرب. شركة لوكيد مارتن حق الطيارات الحربية F-16 F-18، عارف؟ عندها قسم تطوير في المغرب. أبل بتفتح فرع قريب. تسلا فتحت الفرع للتصنيع في المغرب. عندك فورد
فتحوا حتى في الخليج.
مين كمان؟
السعودية برضو.
ستيلانتس فرعهم الأساسي للتوريد كله في المغرب حطوه، اللي هي فيها دوج، فيها جيب، فيها رام، فيها كل الشركات الأمريكية المعظمة اللي تعرفها، باستثناء فورد ومين؟ باستثناء فورد، يمكن بس فورد، عارف؟ باستثناء فورد ولينكولن، بس. حتى كاديلاك صارت تصنع في المغرب حاليا. تعرف ليش؟ مطلع البحرين الأساسيين اللي هو سوقهم الأساسي، يعني تقدر توصل الميدل إيست، تقدر توصل لأوروبا ولا أمريكا، وأسعار الأيادي العاملة في المغرب أرخص من الصين، وذاتس باد يعني، عارف؟ هذا مو ميزة، ولكن هم قاعدين يستغلوها.
قاعدين يكرفوا صح، ها؟
والله قاعدين يكرفوا صاحبي. كم الراتب؟ ما يتجاوز $120 في الشهر. What the fuck man, that's bullshit.
That's crazy.
يا بت يعني دائما انا اقول لما يسالني واحد ايش افضل نظام لنهضه اي بلد، اقول له دائما هو يقول لي مين افضل، شيوعي ولا راس مالي؟ اقول له شيوعي لنهضه البلد، راس مالي لبلد ناهض اصلا، عارف؟ اصلا ما في شيء افضل لكل الوقت، عارف؟ لا لازم يكون النظام هايبرد، عارف؟ ما في نظام واو، عارف؟ لما تقرا في التاريخ تقرا في كل شيء، عارف؟ راح تشوف انه بالبدايه يكون كومونيزم، بعدين يصير راس مالي، عارف؟ هذا النظام الاساسي. اول شيء اخلي الناس كلهم زي بعض، عارف؟ بعدين الصفوه هي اللي راح تطلع، عارف؟ اللي ذكي الافضل هو اللي راح يصير افضل. راس المال هي من هنا راح تطلع الافكار، فاهم؟ ابدا كومونيزم. يعني دوله بدايه نهضه زي السودان اليمن ما راح ننهض، عارف؟ بالانتخابات كم كلمه يبيع لك اياها الرئيس ولا الحزب، عارف؟ انت بالاول والاخير راح تصدقها، عارف؟
That's what I'm saying. Niggas is bots.
والله niggas bots. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, chat, he got a pass. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Nobody get on his ass. You hear me? Anyways.
No, I'm 50% black and 50% white.
Yeah, he's light skin. He's light skin.
Yemeni, you know.
Yeah, he's just light skin.
The Yemenis are closer to Africa than Asia.
Yeah. Anyways, man, let's just finish the video. Damn, we've been talking a lot. الفيديو ده حيكون مدته يمكن 3 ساعات. That's crazy.
That might be
So do I, sir.
Well, hang on.
So do I,
hang
sir.
on. Hang on. You have boxed yourself into
Hang
position
on.
now where your
Hang
own
on.
Muslim
Thugs.
community in the UK are enraged with you because they believe you are siding with Tommy Robinson, who is leading a far-right series of attacks on Muslims and mosques and is being blatantly Islamophobic in the process. And you know that. And so what do you say to the Muslim community who believe that's what you're doing?
Well, if there's a small contingent of the Muslim community which believe that, I've yet to see so much vitriol
It's
like
not
you're pretending
small.
exists. But I want to make it very clear. I want to make it very clear, Piers. I'll make it very clear here. I will answer the question. I am an Islamic revert, and I do not want to talk scripture because there's people more qualified than I, but I'll make it clear. I lead with love in my heart. The Islam I was taught was one of peace and tolerance.
That's a
There's
W.
not a single person alive who can force me to take sides or to hate anybody else. And I don't care what kind of Islamic person you are, to come along and tell me I should hate somebody else because of Islam is not the kind of Islam
Islam is based on peace. It's called Islam. Islam, which translates to peace.
I prescribe to. I have half of my family which is Christian, half of my family which is Muslim. I'm half black, I'm half white. I do not want either sides of my family to face any kind of violence on the streets. I'm the person who's been calling for peace. You're reading out the odd tweet here and there. Why don't you read out the 30 tweets I tweeted explaining that we need peace on the streets and we need to restore some form of democratic representation to the House of Parliament.
Islam on the
You
streets.
only choose and lie by omission and try and pretend there's a problem where there's not. I love all of my Islamic brothers, and I also love every Christian, Buddhist, and Hindu. I'm a person who has no hate in his heart, and if anybody has a problem with me
Respect.
personally, I'm happy
Love.
to speak to them about it.
Unity.
But all in all,
What about
I've not seen
what about
this
Jewish
hate that you're
people?
pretending exists. I've actually seen unlimited
Jewish
support.
people?
I've actually seen huge support from the Islamic community. That's what I've seen, because they understand that in Islam we teach each other to live and love
let me
with
read
peace.
you.
We're not sitting
All right,
here to try to hurt each other. And actually, one more thing.
Stop talking for a
One more
moment.
thing I will say to the Muslim brothers.
Can you
I will
shut the
say this.
fuck up,
we
nigga?
need to show the world that we are not the hateful ideology they think we are. We need to show the world that we believe in God and we trust God and that we're going to stand up for our beliefs and we're not going to allow ourselves to be watered down or walked all over. But we also need to understand that there's this terrible perception of us that has been painted by the Western media machine. And I like to live with love. When I tell people I'm a Muslim, I see fear in some people's eyes. And I spend a lot of time trying to talk that fear out.
9/11.
There's love in my heart. There's nothing but love in my heart for everybody.
Yeah, you keep
For
saying there's
everybody
so
who
much love
rioted,
in your heart.
I will pray.
Fine. There's a lot of love in your heart, but not, it
On both
appears, when it
sides.
comes to... Yeah, but your first response to the murders of these children was to issue a video in which you spew complete nonsense about the perpetrator being an illegal migrant to this country. That does not fill people with love. It makes them hate all illegal immigrants to this country, as well you know. On August the 4th, you retweeted
Piers,
the
you're
notorious white supremacist Nick Fuentes on the subject of the riots. And as you said this, he said this, Fuentes, it's clear that not only are these protests being amplified and directed by Zionist plants on social media, but the mayhem will also catalyst a major crackdown on speech and persecution of political right in the UK. So it's Zionist plants are fueling this, apparently. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think the point he was trying to make, and this is the meta point, which is very important, is that fighting each other is never going to work. When you have people who live on the same street,
That wasn't the point he made.
Fighting each other,
the point he
nothing at
made
all.
is that Zionist plants,
Can I
so
finish?
Jewish people,
May I finish,
Jewish
Piers?
people on social media were amplifying the riots. You retweeted it, so presumably you agree with him.
Well, Tommy and you do work for the same people, so that is interesting that you want to try and bring this point up. However, let me make this clear.
Nigga just called him out. He said, nigga, I know you work for a nigga. I know your boss. I know your boss. I know them niggas work for the same.
Literally
When you have
retweeted
people on the
Nick
same
Fuentes,
street.
who is a disgusting white supremacist who spews anti-Semitic crap morning, noon, and night. You retweeted him. Do you agree with him when he said it's clear these protests are being amplified and directed by Zionist plants on social media? Do you agree with that?
Well, the point I agree with, if you will let me finish my answer. When you have white
Do you
people
agree
and
with him
brown
or
people
not?
on the same
كيف
street.
يخليك تخلص؟ كيف يخليك تخلص؟ لا لازم you know what I'm saying?
I told you
I'm trying to finish.
يستخدم طريقة رومانية
I'm trying to
قديمة
answer
اللي
the
في
question.
التحقيق اللي
When
yes
you
or
have
no
black
تعرف.
people, brown people, white people on the same street who are all upset with
But
the
not
government
Jewish
because the
people.
government has betrayed them, and I think everybody agrees that, and they're fighting against each other, this will only result in more government crackdowns and more power against everybody. Brown people and white people, Muslims and
Do you
Christians,
think it was
everybody will
Zionist
suffer from
plans?
more totalitarianism from the government. Keir Starmer stood up and said, I'm going to be totalitarian and I'm going to use
You're
this as
just
an excuse to
distracting.
take
You're
away more of
answering
your
a
rights
different
and more of your
question.
liberties and take away your ability to ever answer any question and have a true point of view,
Fine.
or to ever
Andrew,
assemble and make it clear that you're
why
unhappy
aren't
about
you
certain
answering
things.
my question?
What Nick was right about was the result of all of this senseless violence, which is going to be a government crackdown and everyone's going to lose their rights. He was right about that, and that's why it's so important that all my Muslim brothers understand that violence is not the answer, and all of the Christians also who are upset and worried understand violence is not the answer, and that we have more in common with each other than we do these elites who are selling us out, and
what
those
about
are the people who are
okay.
deciding that these boats
Stop
can arrive
talking
on
for
the
a
border.
moment. I'm just going to try
The
one more
average
time.
Muslim man on the street doesn't want boats arriving of undocumented migrants either. You can't turn up in the United Arab Emirates without a passport. You can't go to Qatar without a passport.
Fine. Nobody
you can't go to
wants
Bahrain
it.
without a passport. Only in the
Nobody
UK.
wants
Only
it.
in the UK do we have a country so insane that we have no border.
Nobody
we don't know
wants
who's
it.
there. Crimes through the roof. Nobody's safe on the streets anymore. And then when you point these things out, somehow you're some kind of racist and bad person. This
No,
is not
you didn't,
anti-Islamic
but that's the
to say you
problem.
need a passport to come to the UK.
But that's the problem.
In the
You see,
United
you
Arab Emirates, you need a passport. They have the strictest immigration
Fine.
in the world.
Fine, Andrew, had you just said that, that's fine.
So الارجيومنت اللي قاعد تسويه اندرو تيت is kind of like making people like we should make people
مش
abide
مشكلة
by the
المسلمين.
system. Like we should have a system in place. That's basically what he's saying. We should have a system in place that does not allow such things to happen, aka stabbings and shit. You know, whatever type of crime, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We should have a system that people fear enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you would not go to UAE and do the same shit that you're doing in the UK. That's basically what he said. That's from his perspective. That's what he just said.
والله
هذا اللي
العظيم
قاله
كنت في
انه
نفس
انا
الارجيو هذا مع واحد في الانستغرام قاعد يقول له انه عارف عندنا في الميدل ايست ما في عندنا سرقات، وهذا قاعد يقول السبب اننا احنا ارهابيين ما في الكفايه ان نقطع يد السارق، عشان كذا حتى السارق يخاف يسرق. قلت له هذا طيب، هذا هو خلاص، وهذا عندنا الحل احنا اصلا، عارف انه ان احنا نقطع يد السارق. قلت له انت ليش يسرق؟ عارف
هذا هو اللي قاعد يقوله اندرو تيت الحين، انه make actions have consequences. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what he's saying. انه we gotta have a system.
اذا السارق ما حصل شيء يرعبه انه يسرق راح يسرق مره ثانيه، عارف؟
That's what I'm saying.
انت مش قاعد تخوف انه يسرق مره ثانيه، عارف؟
That's what I'm saying. So what he's basically الحاجه اللي قاعد يقولها تيت انه خلي في system انه people can't just pull up to the UK بدون ما يكونوا you know. لأنه that's basically what he's saying. The argument بتاعه. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just making it clear for the viewer. You know what I'm saying? I'm making it clear for the viewer.
I'm here. I feel he is right. Allah
Strictest immigration in the world.
Could be
fine, Andrew. Had you just said that, that's fine. Okay, we would all agree that the small boats is a total
I did say that, but you don't read it out.
It shouldn't be happening.
No,
you didn't. You accused. You told your millions of followers, and it was seen by 15 million people, this video, that it was an illegal migrant who had committed these crimes. That was a lie. Are you prepared to apologize for that lie?
It was a migrant.
What the fuck are you talking about? Sir, are you ready to apologize, sir? When are you going to apologize? That's an elite level Karen.
Migrant. As opposed to an illegal migrant.
What the fuck
I was
are you
incorrect.
talking about?
It wasn't. He was born in Wales.
As opposed to an illegal migrant. Well, this
apologize right now.
He was somebody born here and was legally allowed to be in the country. Do you accept that?
This is where we have the dichotomy of views, which I explained to you earlier on. I explained to you why they exist.
Do you accept he was legally permitted to be in the country? Yes or no?
I'm happy to repeat myself if you don't understand. But when you don't give people a political outlet...
Is it just me, Chad? Somebody let me know. Is it just me? Or is just... Are you ready to apologize? It's crazy. هل أنا am I tweaking? ولا asking for like, what the fuck is my apology gonna do for you? Like, هل هيرجع people to life? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? What are we talking about? نحن قاعد نحاول to shed light on something that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's irrelevant. Why do you want my apology, you feminine?
They're trying to protect their children. They're going to go to extreme measures such as, I don't want anybody who looks like they're from anywhere else around me because I do not feel like the police can protect me anymore. And I feel like I have more in common and more in synergy with the people who think like and act like and look like me. That's what's going to happen. Right. This is not me advocating for anything. This is human nature, sir. This is human nature that you are trying to deny so you can sit here and virtue signal.
It's you spreading lies.
This is the truth. This is human nature, which is the bottom line truth of things. If the police kept people safe like they do in Dubai, you could have a multicultural society. In Dubai, you have all different cultures, 80% immigration. Everybody praises it as a beautiful place to live because it is safe, because the police keep it safe. When the police fail to protect little girls, you can't walk down London Bridge without getting stabbed. You can't wear a nice watch without getting robbed. You can't walk on your phone without getting stolen. Why don't you just answer my question? Houses are broken into.
Why don't you answer my question?
I'm answering it. When the police fail to protect anybody, you're going to see...
Why did you lie?
Yes, they are. They fail on every level.
And are you prepared to apologize? Why did you lie?
I've already answered and said I was incorrect saying he was an illegal migrant. He was a migrant. And I'm not going to apologize to anybody who stabbed 3 little girls. Perhaps that's your business, Piers. That's not
a migrant. He was born in Wales.
Solitary for the rest of his life.
camera turned off.
You appreciate it, my guy.
He was born in Wales.
This is where the dichotomy comes in. The dichotomy I've explained to you 3 times that you failed to grasp. Because your mind is
I grasp it.
Your mind is
grasp
not...
Oh, really?
People born in the United Kingdom are British. Do you now accept that when you said on the 29th of July...
Don't mind me, chat.
I
gotta throw it in. Don't mind me, chat. Yo, UK accent is funny, bro. I like it. I like it, innit? You get me? I can't lie. I like... Man's been practicing the UK accent and that. You get me? I like it, fam. I like it.
That you were wrong.
I accept it looks like the facts of the matter say, in fact, it was a migrant instead of an illegal migrant. However, there's a huge number of crimes committed by illegal migrants, and I still think the country is not safe as long as they're allowed to come into the country.
Fine. And is your position that somebody born in the United Kingdom is not British?
سمعتك هايبرد ولا عادية؟
I'm going to have to give you a 30-second answer. But this is going to be a very important conversation for decades.
Yeah, بس هايبرد ولا يعني يمديك تصير.
The UK and the Western democracies are the only countries in the world where we will accept somebody born in the country, even if they have a different genetic lineage, are from that country. If you are born in China and you are not
I'm trying to sell it.
by appearance,
I don't need it anymore.
What do you think? What do you think?
Let me answer. But it's not about what I think, sir. Because there's a dichotomy within inside of the Western democracies, and this is extremely clear. If you do believe that somebody born in the country, irregardless of their genetic lineage, is from that country, the only way you can have a society function in this manner is if all people are fairly politically represented and if there is no two-tier policing. If you're going to allow anybody to turn up to a country, be born, become from that country, get preferential treatment in the political system and the judicial system, you are going to have outrage and you are going to have riots. If we're going to accept, sir, that people who are born inside of the UK at any point are from there, and that is their country, then it's even more important that Keir Starmer represents everybody. He doesn't stand up and spit vitriol, which is going to engulf flames.
But to answer my question...
more important, that we do not have two-tier policing like we've been witnessing.
Fine. I completely agree there should be no two-tier policing. Everyone should be exposed to the force of the law in exactly the same equitable manner. But just to be clear, do you personally, Andrew Tate, believe if you're born in the United Kingdom, you're British or not?
Personally? I don't think my personal views have anything to do with it, and I think they don't.
هو اللي يجي نزلنا يمين يا
The point I made.
راح تفتح اللعبة.
Morning, noon, and night. Why are you dodging?
هذا نفس اللي جاء في راسي.
Because I don't think my personal views are that interesting. I think I could say my personal views. Yes, I believe if you're born in the UK, that you're from the UK. However,
you do. Okay.
However,
fine. No. There's no whoever. You've answered the question.
Oh,
you believe they are British.
Fuck.
So after that long speech, you agree with me. If you're born in the United Kingdom, you're British. Now, the other thing I want to get clarity on is this tweet from your friend Nick, as you call him, who's actually a white supremacist.
انت مركز مع الاسم بتاع الغلط صح؟
ايوه
ايش كان اسمه؟
هينومن فينن ارنو.
او فوك ذات بوش. انا مركز مع الكلام اللي قاعد يقوله مورجان. قاعد يقول انه اي واحد انولد في اليو كي is basically British. What the fuck man, what are you talking about?
Nick, you're British. No,
شوف من ناحية nationality يس، بس من ناحية يعني كونتري لا، يعني هي جنسيتك بريطانية ولكن بلدك ووطنك ما هو بريطاني.
الاثنسيتي قصدك، اللينيج.
ايوه عرقيتك لا ما هي ابدا. يعني انا حتى لو نفس جنسيه ثانيه وجبت اولادي وصاروا من الجنسيه الثانيه هذه راح اعلمهم طلق كلهم يمنيين، عارف؟ لانه هذا الحقيقه، عارف؟ زي ما قلت تيرون لانستر في جيم اوف ثرونز، عارف؟ انت مهما تنمق نفسك وتلبس ملابس if you are bastard you are bastard، عارف؟
That's facts.
الناس كلهم راح يعرفوا انك باسترد، الوحيد اللي ما راح يعرف هو انت، عارف؟
However,
you do. Okay. No.
ما اعرف. You are Yemeni with the maybe a German passport, British passport, American passport، عارف؟ بالضبط you are Yemeni، عارف؟
تلعب على الناس لكن ما تقدر تلعب على نفسك.
From your friend Nick is
يا حرفيا ما انت تلعب على نفسك ابدا، ما انت تلعب على الناس يعني اذا انت صيني عينك راح تكون مخوطه، كل الناس راح يعرفون انك صيني يكون عندك الجنسيه الامريكيه. كل والله راح يسموك ايجن، افريكان امريكان، ايجن امريكان، راح يبقى عرقك موجود، عارف؟
لا facts. That's facts.
But the people who are writing
الجين واضحة، الجين بيكون واضح.
With me, if you're born in the United Kingdom, you're British. Now the other thing I want to get clarity on is this tweet from your friend Nick, as you call him, who's actually a white supremacist, Nick Fuentes.
المشكلة شفت السؤال حق مورجان أول 10 دقائق في البودكاست ما أندر أوضح ذا الشيء. قال أنا نص روماني ومواطن أمريكي وبريطاني، زوجتي إيطالية، ولدي أنا ولد في رومانيا وتجنس روماني. هل الرومانيين راح يسموه روماني؟ لا، قاعد يقول هذا لأن هذا نظرتهم على العالم.
Yep, for sure. والله أنا متفق والله.
You agree with me?
مين الشخص اللي كان يتكلم كذا؟ دقيقة، في واحد كان يقول زي ذا الكلام. إبراهيموفيتش. يا صراحة إبراهيموفيتش في المقابلة حقه مع نص بوخش بودكاست ساعة كاملة قاعد كان يقول، عارف الويسترن ثينك اللي عندك، عارف اللي في لوس أنجلوس حلاقتك هاي التمشيط هذه، قاعد يقول لا تتوقع أن كل العالم زي كذا، يقول هذه نظرتك أنت لحالك على العالم، فاهم؟ العالم مو كلهم يفكروا نفس بعض. إذا أنا ولدت في أمريكا أنت أمريكي، قاعد يقول هذا نظرتك أنت لحالك على العالم، عارف؟
فعلا. أي that's facts. كلام صح والله.
أنت شفت بودكاست رونالدو كمان؟ والله كذا كان في كلام قاعد يقول إنه يقعدوا يسبوا السعودية ويسبوا دول الخليج، قاعد يقول is we that perfect، عارف رونالدو قال، عارف؟ قاعد يتكلم عن البرتغال أمريكا،
قاعد يقول إنه هل نحن perfect لهذه الدرجة؟
قاعد يقول قاعدين ننتقد في السعودية وننتقد في دول الخليج وقوانينهم، قاعد يقول أصلا حتى حنا هل نحن ذا المثالية is we that perfect، عارف؟ قال
نايس. متى كانت الانترفيو هذا حق رونالدو؟
قبل أسبوع أتوقع، قبل 4 أيام. الآن راح ينزل بودكاست جديد مع ليونيل ميسي، رونالدو مع ميسي. It's like what the fuck في قارة رونالدو.
That would be tough. That would be amazing.
والله the mindsets، عارف؟ الجندر mindsets إنه بودكاست، عارف؟ It's like damn.
That would be amazing. I would definitely tune in.
والله قاعد يمدح في السعودية، قاعد يقول القوانين هنا تحافظ على الأمن، يقول إنه ما يخاف على ولده جونيور، عارف؟ إنه يصادق فقراء يصادق أغنياء، قال لي صادق اللي يبغاه، عارف؟ في ذا البلد. والله he is right يعني. قاعد يقول هو يعرف إنه لو نام بالليل وصاح الصباح ما راح يحصل خبر إنه ولده مطعون، عارف؟ يا والله أنا كنت قاعد أشوف بودكاست قدام.
Which is facts. Like you can't. It's not the same as UK and shit. Like if إذا كنت في اليو كي أيوة بتوقع الحاجة دي، بس
والله he was working in Manchester United, he worked to Juventus, he knows a lot.
Yeah, so listen, one thing about it bro, لما تفكر في why Middle Eastern people have this because it's within people, you know what I'm saying? Islam is basically peace. It means peace, you know what I'm saying? It consists of peace. So Muslim people, peaceful people, you know what I'm saying? We have it within us to, you know, not inflict.
طبعا لكل قاعدة شواذ يعني، واكيد في بعضهم بيفسروا الدين بطريقة خاطئة
for sure.
يترمي
for sure. For sure. Like as like the majority of Muslim people, they, you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't do something to you that's they would, or at least I would say 90% they it's because the fear of God. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's the fear of God. People fear God. That's why it makes them not wanna. It's the belief that God is watching me at all time. So whatever I put out is what I'm going to get back. You know what I'm saying? It's basically yeah. I can't do this because I believe in this. It goes against what I believe in. So that's what makes it a much more safer, because security is done within people's souls. It's done within people. People themselves would not do something that they wouldn't want done to them, if that makes sense. So that what makes the Middle East kind of like more like secure, you know what I'm saying, when you compare it to the UK and shit, because people themselves are peaceful. Well, not majority of them. Not, it's definitely some crash out dummies. It's definitely some, bad people everywhere. But for the most part, it's kind of like peaceful.
Everything else in the podcast is a bullshit. If you wanna تكمل تابعه. كان قاعد يتكلم عن انه كيف انه العنصرية هي مش بين الغني والغني. قاعد يقول انه الغني الاسود والغني الابيض ما في بينهم عنصرية. المشكلة هي بين الغني والفقير والفقير. فاهم؟
Tate retweeting Nick. This is bullshit. Tate brands Piers and anti-Semite. Okay, let's watch this.
Yeah. And he's right يعني. في الثاني يعني بيرز يعني دقس.
دقس يا
influential Muslim commentator who's been
دقيقة ما قاعد تقول تيت شو ابتسام العريضة دي. دقيقة قاعد اضحك اقول لك
he catched Piers
اسنانه كلها برا اقول لك. This nigga was happy as shit.
Interesting.
You just fell into the...
Okay, no.
Supremacist and
telling you exactly the happened result.
Amplified the riots.
I don't know who's directing these riots. I know the end result. I know why the riots happened in my own personal view, because of underrepresentation. I think Keir Starmer's failed.
Do you think it was Zionist
plans? Our political classes sold us out. And I think that the end result is going to be bad times for everyone in the UK. My Muslim brothers are going to suffer, brown people will suffer, Christian will suffer, black will suffer. It's bad times for everybody. I'm not going to say who's directing what, because I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just telling you exactly why I retweeted that tweet.
Right, so a white supremacist anti-Semite, Nick Fuentes, blames Zionist plants for amplifying and directing these riots. And you retweet him.
Do you know who he's talking about when he says that?
Do you?
Yes.
Who?
He's talking about Tommy Robinson, who's
answer the question with a question.
Who's openly Zionist.
Oldest
do you believe Tommy Robinson incited these things? Because if you do, you agree with Nick Fuentes. You have just been sitting here saying Zionists have been pushing these riots to be clear, this whole interview, sir. So you just fell into the exact same trap. You agree exactly with what Nick just said. So now you're going to sit here and say, oh, he's a white supremacist to try and get gotcha moments when you fail with your own point of view. Tommy is a Zionist, sir. Tommy is a Zionist.
Just to be clear then, just to be clear, when you retweeted this, you believed Nick Fuentes was talking about Tommy Robinson.
I believed he was talking about Tommy Robinson, but I only agree with the last part of the tweet, as I said.
Right.
But you agree with the first part of the tweet.
So to be clear,
I don't know why you're sitting here trying to use it as a gotcha when you agree with the tweet yourself.
To be clear, then you don't agree when he said the protests are being amplified and directed by Zionist plants on social media. You don't agree with that.
No, I think that people had a legitimate concern.
Thank you. That's all we need.
I think the UK is a powder keg.
I don't need another speech, Andrew. You've answered the question.
You agree with Zionists.
It's fine.
You believe that Zionists have solved
No need for a speech.
You do.
No need for a speech.
You are an anti-Semite,
Let me read to you comments from the influential Muslim commentator who's been on Uncensored, Muhammad Hijab, who said to you this: "My brother, I've always supported you, but you're severely off the mark on the following point. Acquiescence to far-right figures like Tommy Robinson is horror."
يدعو الناس في بريطانيا في حديقة الملكة مدري مين، عارف يدعو الناس بس.
داعي يعني.
يا داعية ولكن يعني بستايل غربي خلينا نقول.
Enemy of Islam. Your lack of condemnation of far-right thugs who attacked a mosque and who attacked Muslims and Islam more generally. Many far-right hooligans want no peace with us. They consider us to be an impossible subject. Our existence frustrates them. You are one of us. They will never accept you fully until you embrace their beliefs. We worship Allah alone and build our purpose on this. No one can
get it right. It's Allah. What the fuck are you talking? Allah, nigga. Allah, nigga.
Our existence frustrates them. You are one of us. They will never accept you fully until you embrace their beliefs. We worship Allah alone and build our purpose on this.
Who the fuck is Allah, bro? Who the fuck is Allah, my nigga? Nobody knows who that is. What are you talking about, Allah, nigga?
Nobody until you embrace their beliefs. Our existence frustrates them. You are one of us. They will never accept you fully until you embrace their beliefs. We worship Allah alone and build our purpose on this. No one can compete with this. I urge you to endorse this message and salvage the situation. Do you endorse his message? Do you now denounce right-wing thugs who committed attacks on Muslims and on mosques in the last week? And do you therefore condemn Tommy Robinson for inciting it?
بقول أبدالك thugs.
Okay, so firstly, I absolutely condemn all violence, especially against Muslims and against mosques.
Hey,
I know Muhammad Hijab well, and I respect him, and he is extremely versed on the Quran and Islam. He's more versed than I am. I think that by having open conversation with the people I disagree with, I did not see myself as aligning with them, but perhaps this is a perception I need to address, of course. I think anybody who's been violent on either side is doing the wrong thing and is being disgusting. I want to make something clear. Piers, you do this very common trick of me explaining to you why I believe something is happening and then you saying that that's my point of view. I'm not saying I agree with right-wing people who are rioting and attacking Muslims. I'm telling you why I believe they did it. I believe they did it because they didn't feel like they had political representation. That does not mean I represent them. That does not mean I advocate for them. That does not mean I agree with them. That's not why they did it. I just sat here. I just sat here while you told me Nigel Farage sold me out, and I said that's fine.
Yeah.
I still agree with some things he says. I'm a very logical person. I'm not emotional about these things.
Well,
I'm
if you're logical, you'll understand.
But
Andrew, if you're logical, you will understand that is not why they did what they did. It's not why they rioted. They rioted in direct response to a social media-led campaign of disinformation which told them that the person who killed these little girls was an illegal immigrant Muslim who was on an MI6 terror watch list.
This is very important.
None of those things were true.
Piers, this is very important, sir. And I consider you in many ways a friend. This is very important. You advocated, please let me finish this, it's 30 seconds. You advocated for the vaccine and you got people killed. You are now going to be advocating for people to lose their freedom of speech online. And there's not going to be anyone's going to be allowed discourse anymore. Because you're sitting here pretending that somebody making a video being upset about little girls dying is the reason the UK was set on fire and not the failure of politicians across generations.
هذه 30 ثانية الوحيدة اللي راح تشوف فيها أندرو ساكت. قصدي بيرس ساكت.
This is very important, sir. Very important.
None of those things were true.
Piers, this is very important, sir. And I consider you in many ways a friend. This is very important. You advocated, please let me finish this, it's 30 seconds. You advocated for the vaccine and you got people killed. You are now going to be advocating for people to lose their freedom of speech online. And there's not going to be anyone's going to be allowed discourse anymore. Because you're sitting here pretending that somebody making a video being upset about little girls dying is the reason the UK was set on fire and not the failure of politicians across generations, sir. That is a fallacy.
It was
it is a fallacy and it is dangerous. It is dangerous for you to even push this, Piers. Because we're going to end up in a world where no one is allowed to talk anymore. And it's going to be people like you who advocated for it. And when everyone's sitting at home without a point of view, then the slavery is going to be fully implemented on the populace. And you are a bad person for trying to get people's point of view taken off the internet.
No, fine. There are perfectly legitimate questions, as I've been agreeing with you about in this interview about the levels of legal and illegal migration to the UK. They are simply unsustainable, and I will be hard on Labour until they work out a solution.
We can't talk about it online.
There are also plenty of
you just
issues.
said if we talk about it, there'll be a riot.
No, we are talking about it, and you have millions of followers.
You just said we shouldn't be allowed to.
You have a platform.
You just said we should not be allowed to talk about it online because it will cause a riot.
You have a responsibility to be accurate. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And I was 95% accurate, which is more accurate than the BBC's ever been about anything. Or you, for extension, most of the time. You've been wrong a whole bunch. Do you condemn Israel? Do you remember that? October 7th, do you condemn?
I do.
Condemn Israel and their genocide? Oh, it's about time. So I was right back then, and it took you 6 months to catch up. And you're going to see in 6 months
you weren't
from
right
now,
back
I'm still
then.
right. If we don't,
you said,
I'm right. If we don't cure the disease, which is people feeling underrepresented by the political class, the symptoms, which is violence, are going to continue to prop up all around the country
but
forever.
What you don't seem to want to accept,
sir.
Fine. What you don't seem
and what
to
you
want
don't
to
want to accept is that what you are saying is that the politicians are perfect and they've done nothing wrong, and the people have no good point of view. And that we should shut everyone up online and not let anyone talk.
Complete nonsense.
You are advocating for slavery for the population. That's what you're advocating for.
Let me speak. Nobody is shut up online. Elon Musk has made it much easier for everyone to be online and have their say. You do it all day long. You spew a lot of untruths. And I'm simply asking you, when you're wrong and what you say helps influence minds to go and commit riots, as it did, because you and Tommy Robinson, between you and others who were amplifying and spreading this bullshit about who this person was, ended up with rioting against Muslims who had nothing to do with the killing of those girls.
Piers.
And you as a Muslim of all people should have been the first to denounce it.
Of course, Piers. Piers. The logic fail. You're a smart man. But are you trying to say that if you say anything online, you are now responsible for all the consequences of that action? So if Cardi B sings about how she can drug men and lie that they raped her, if a girl then lies about being raped and ruins that man's life, Cardi B is responsible? Is that what you're saying? I'm asking you this. That's such a logic fail. It doesn't even make sense.
No, I'm not saying that.
There's a lot of people who say a lot of things online. There's a lot of people who advocate for insane things online all of the time.
Fine, stop shouting.
I'm not telling them to not be
able to kill my
able to talk.
I believe you've accepted in this interview that you spread disinformation about the person who perpetrated these crimes being an illegal immigrant to the UK. Would you like to apologise for spreading that wrong information?
If the whole video was expressing my distaste, dissatisfaction, and disgust at the events that took place, I believe that I was 95% accurate and got a detail wrong. I didn't get anything important wrong. A 17-year-old man stabbed little girls in a Taylor Swift concert. And
people attacked asylum seeker hotels because they believed it was an illegal migrant.
أقول لك غلط مين؟ أقول لك غلط مين؟
So for you to sit.
تايلور سويفت.
تايلور سويفت ولا قصدك الناس اللي سوت الكونسرت؟
لا هي تايلور سويفت نفسها ما تعرف تغني ومعها كثير
تقول لي هذا اللوجيك حق مورغان بيرس. لا الغلط تايلور سويفت غلطانه. ليش تسوي كونسرت؟ ما تعرف انه هذا شيء خطير؟ كيف تجيب اطفال؟ That's crazy. والله هذا اللوجيك حقه.
That shouldn't ever happen, sir. That should never happen anywhere. So for you to sit and say
كل واحد قاعد يحاول. هذا بوت بزياده، تمام؟ وهذا يعني قاعد يحاول قدر الامكان انه ايش يفكك البتاته حقته. ما ادري كيف اقولها، بس يحاول قدر الامكان انه ايش هو عارف، بس قاعد يمثل انه بوت، فاهم؟ عشان ايش الابيل حق البوتات اللي زيه، عشان ايش كلهم بعد كذا يصيروا ضد هذا. بعدين قاعد يتجاهلوا اعظم حاجه اللي هي the people are fucking dumb. Why are we so fucking disconnected, docile, easily manipulated? Like why? ليش ما نركز في المشكلة؟ Like y'all niggas need to be educated, bro. Y'all niggas need to stop doing dumb shit and be self-accountable. Like
شيء زي هذا البودكاست راح يطلع منه بعض الناس، يمكن 10% من الناس بفائدة، عرفوا؟ في ناس كثير راح يتثقفوا من ورا الشيء. انا اشوف انتشار اشياء زي هذه شيء مفيد، زي هذه
أيوة
المناقشات، تعرف.
ايوه انا ما قاعد اقول انه ما هو شيء مفيد، على العكس لازم يكون في زي you know what I'm saying two opposing sides عشان دائما بعد الفايت هذا
وتي
او بعد
اوبوزنج سايتس يكون عندهم كلهم نفس الصوت بنفس الدرجه.
بعد الكلاش هذا بيكون في ايش ناس حتعرف اشياء جديده ما كانت تعرفها، او حتحاول انه ايش يعني تتعمق فيه، او انها اذا كانت consciously aware بتحاول انها تشوف من الشوز
تعرف
you know what I'm saying from the opponent point of view. بتحاول انك تشوف يعني مثلا كمورجان بتحاول تشوف من العين حقت تيت، او كتيت بتحاول تشوف من العين حقت مورجان which is هذه constructiveness. This is being constructive. This is actually ego to the side. This is actually emotion to the side. Just purely trying to evolve in you know just create in make people evolve in just make the best possible existence, like just for people to have the best type of existence. إذا كان هذا الموتيف، إذا كان هذا الدافع حقهم حيكون في constructiveness. لكن why like I'm not saying, all I'm saying is men being feminine in not in trying to you know drown people that are trying to shed light on things that people should know. And it's sad. وهذه طبيعة الدنيا اللي احنا عايشين فيها. That's crazy. And people like me can see, but like 99.9% of people حيطلعوا من النقاش هذا, they go being like this in the comments. Yo, oh fuck Tate, what the fuck are you talking about? That's how they go be on like 99%.
yeah. They are taking a side.
Dumb. That's dumb. 99% of people. That's why, yo, I'm starting to think, bro, Tesla was not lying, bro. He was not lying when he said humanity is not ready for greatness. Like looking at these types of things, like it kind of like he was not lying. He was not lying, and I feel you on that. It's like
تعرف ما شوف تعرف الشيء اللي لو اوبوزيت لكن قدامنا سكتوه
مين؟
لب النفط المسكين اخر 100 سنه كلها قاعد يتم اصماته.
مين هو؟
لب النفط. اي عالم يقولوا النفط افضل او النفط افضل من الكهرباء يسكتوه دايركت.
يب لاحظت الشيء هذا.
ترى هذا شيء ممنهج جدا. تعرف المنتج الوحيد في الكون على مدى التاريخ، ولك انت تدور زي ما تبغى، الشيء الوحيد اللي الحكومة تدعم الصانع والعميل فيه هو الكهرباء، هو سيارة الكهرباء. المنتج الوحيد. ما في اي منتج، ولا روح ابحث اكتب المنتج اللي الحكومة تدعم فيه الصانع والمشتري. ما في ولا اي منتج في العالم غير الكهرباء، سيارة الكهرباء.
يدعموا الصانع والمشتري؟
يدعم الصانع انه يصنع سيارات كهرباء، يخفضوا له الضرائب، يعطوه اول سنة فلوس عشان ينهض، والمشتري نفس الشيء كذلك، يقللوا عليه الضرائب، يزودوا له والله الراتب في الاوفر تايم في دول زي النرويج، عارف، يعطوه تأمين صحي افضل، عارف. المنتج الوحيد ما في غيره. وتعرف انه اضرار دراسيا علميا هذا الكلام 100% علمي ولا اي مشاعر، عارف. الكهرباء استخراج الليثيوم، بطارية الليثيوم مضرة في البيئة أكثر ب 120 ضعف من ثاني أكسيد الكربون المنتشر في الهواء المدى الطويل للتنفس. أنت فين يعني؟ أنت زي الطاقة النووية تقول طاقة نظيفة، الطاقة النووية فعلا طاقة نظيفة، لحد ما أنت تستاهل لكم حيصمل هذا النووي؟ يصمل 20 سنة، بعد 20 سنة فين المخلفات النووية ترى؟
نيكولر ويست وين حتودي؟
وين تودي
افريقيا تدفنه في التراب؟
الشركة الوحيدة في العالم، وهنا المشكلة تيجي، الشركة الوحيدة في العالم اللي تعرف انت حرب روسيا واوكرانيا في شركة واحدة ما انفرض عليها عقوبات، روزاتوم. اكتب روزاتوم، شوف روزاتوم الشركة الوحيدة. يعني يقول لك روسيا انت ممنوع من الاكسجين، انت ممنوع مدرج وكذا، تحصل كذا بند صغير تحت في نهاية العقوبة باستثناء روزاتوم. روزاتوم الشركة الوحيدة في العالم اللي تقدر تفكك المحطات النووية وتسوي إعادة تدوير للمخلفات النووية، هي شركة روسية. تخيل هذا احتكار روسيا الأبدي.
اسمها روز اتوم.
روز اتوم ما في ولا شركه في العالم تقدر تفكك محطه نوويه الا هي، ولو حتى شركه ثانيه صنعت محطه نوويه ما يقدروا يفككوها. عارف؟ روز اتوم عندهم الادوات واختراعاتهم الخاصه وابتكاراتهم الخاصه، تم الاحتكار. عارف؟
ثم الاحتكار حقي يا ابوي ايش
تم
تبغى؟
الاحتكار. صاحب شركه روز اتوم قبل شهر واحد كان في امريكا. عارف؟ روسي الجنسيه، اب عن جد روسي وجد روسي وام روسيه، حتى ما مسكوه، ما جمدوا وصول الحساب البنكي حقه، ما سووا اي شيء حرفيا. الروسي الوحيد اللي عايش بسلام، حتى بوتين ما سوى له اي شيء. عارف؟ ولا حد قاعد يلمسه، لانه
نحتاجك
لو بكره ما فكك محطه
انت
نوويه.
فاليوبل، انت قيم، نحتاجك.
لانه لو بكره والله قال لشركته لا تفكك ذي المحطه النوويه، بكره تنفجر المحطه النوويه وعندنا تشيرنوبل جديده. عارف؟ بس لايك ما حد يقدر يزعله، فاهم؟ ما حد يقدر يزعله، ولا حد يقدر يزعل مجلس الاداره حقه. سو ذاتس ويرد. الشركه ثالثه، هذه الشركه انا متاكد حستثمر فيها في المستقبل، ASML. الشركه دائما الناس لما يتكلموا عن الذكاء الاصطناعي والتطور بشكل عام تحصلوا ما يتكلموا عن الشركات المصنعه للرقائق، صح؟
المصنع ليش؟
مثلا للرقائق، اشباه الموصلات، يجي يقول لك TSMC التايوانيه، انفيديا، انتل. عرفت؟ دحين انفيديا وانتل التقنيات الحديثه عندهم زي 5 نانومتر يصنعوها فين؟ TSMC سؤال واحد بس. TSMC طبعا هم خبرات كل شيء على عيني وراسي واذكياء، لكن TSMC ادوات اللي استخدموها من وين يجيبوا الماكينه اللي تشوف طبعا الفيروسات
من الصين
45. لا الفيروسات 45 نانومتر، 100 نانومتر. هذه الأجهزة يمديك تشوف فيها أشباه موصلات 5 نانومتر، 3 نانومتر. يمديك تشوف مو بس الفيروس، عشان تاخذ مثال يعني على فيروسات عارف في جسم الإنسان. عارف؟ يمديك تشوف شيء أصغر من الفيروس ب40 ضعف، 50 ضعف في هذه الأجهزة، فاهم؟ تحركه، تقطع الفيروس، تنشر الفيروس. يمديك تسوي فيه اللي تبغاه، ليزر، ضغط ماء، اللي تبغاه. هذه الشركه هي ASML هولنديه. تخيل، تعرف انه ASML ممنوع تبيع اي شيء للصين، ممنوع تبيع اي شيء لروسيا، ممنوع تبيع اي شيء لتايوان، حتى تايوان نفسها. عارف؟ تبيع بس خصيصه لTSMC اللي تصنع 2 نانومتر. تعرف لمين؟ للجيش الامريكي. الشيء الوحيد في العالم اللي يملك تقنيه تحت 3 نانومتر هو الجيش الامريكي. ذات شيت. عارف؟ تعرف طياره مثل طيارات F-35، عارف؟ هذه فيها تقريبا 2 نانومتر. تعرف ليش الخوذة أصلا حق الطيارة نفسها الشبح قيمتها كم؟ 25 مليون دولار. عارف؟ الخوذة بس حق الطيارة اللي تلبسها
مليون.
فيها 3 رقائق من دقة 2 نانومتر. تعرف انه لو لبستها يمديك تشوف كل شيء حوالينك مو موجود، بس تشوف الهدف كذا. all the shops كأنك مو راكب طيارة، كأنك مو راكب اي شيء حرفيا. كذا تلبس انت في عالم ثاني، انت كأنك في فيديو جيم. الزوم X1000 عندك في الخوذة، تسوي زومينج على المكان، لوكيتد، اطلق، يمديك تروح تشوف فيديوهات لهذا الشيء. كأنك تسوق طيارة لعبة، تقصف مكان بأدق دقة من ناحية. عارف؟
والله انت عندك معلومات كثيره مفيده. that's crazy.
ASML معلومه جانبيه، ASML الشركه الوحيده اللي من التسعينات ما تاثرت ولا شفت والله 9/11 ما ادري ايش. الشركه الوحيده اللي سموا قاعده تنمو من التسعينات 5000% نمت لحد الان من عام 2010 للان. لو راح تستمر فيها ما راح تطيح يعني. من لما تتفكر كيف راح يعطيك، كيف راح ينزل، من المنافس وايش يمكن الافكار بتكون، ما في. عارف؟ حرفيا امريكا قاعده تقتل اي منافس. شركه مثل ASML امس شركه في سويسرلاند عارف استحوذت عليها بكم مليار. عارف؟ حرفيا شركه طالعه قالت والله نقدر نسوي زي ASML، سكروها من ثاني يوم. عارف؟
سوي زي مين قلت؟
والله شركه في سويسرلاند، كانت شركه سويسريه بدات تظهر، والمستثمرين الصينيين بدأوا يستثمروا فيها. قال لك والله هذه فرصتنا ننقذ الصين من الاحتكار الامريكي اللي قاعد يصير. ثاني يوم اشترتها ب 25 مليار ASML، ولا كأنه شيء. سكر الشركه. عارف؟ خلاص تم الشراء، تم المعلومات. عارف على قولة الميم.
خمسة بس هذه فوز الاسل ليك والله فاز. في يومين صنع 25 مليار 25 مليار. ذاتس كريزي.
في يومين ضيعوا عليك فرصة بالمليارات تبيع لشركات زي انفيديا وAMD دول، تقول انت واو ذاتس جريت. وهو فعليا مبنيين كلهم على شركة زي ASML. ترى عشان كذا امريكا تحب تايوان. شوف دائما الناس يقول لك والله تايوان راح تاخذ لنا زي اوكرانيا. لا 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 حبيبي، تايوان لو مو موجوده بكره ما راح تشوف لا دبابات امريكيه كويسه ولا راح تشوف رادارات امريكيه كويسه. القبه الحديديه كلها، كل الشرائح اللي داخلها منسوخ عليها TSMC ميد ان تايوان. كل الشرائح حق اسرائيل. انت بكره والله تسوي ضرر لا محدود، عارف، لو تهجم على تايوان. عشان كذا بايدن ايش طلع قال مو بس انا كرئيس، اي رئيس امريكي ثاني راح يحمي تايوان بكل شيء، عارف. هذا اللي قاله في اخر تصريح له في 2020، عارف، ايام كورونا لما كان تهدد تايوان. قاعد يقول جيشنا كله جاهز في حمايه تايوان. الجيش الامريكي كله في حمايه تايوان مو في حمايه امريكا. انت تعرف هذا الشيء قدر ايش مهم له؟
ايه والله مهم اجل. يعني الجيش كله يعني يرسل الجيش كله لتايوان عشان يقاتل الصين.
الامريكي قدام المحاربين الامريكيين ايش يقولوا؟ يقول لك اتس جاست ا فاكين ايلاند، عارف. ما في اي شيء مميز فيها. لما قد زاروها، اللي قد راحها، اللي حارب فيها في الحرب العالميه الثانيه وخرج منها اليابانيين، ما فيها شيء. ايش الشيء المميز في ذي الجزيره، عارف؟ اذا يعرفوا التقنيه اللي فيها هم كانوا راح يعرفوا. هذول اغلبهم عجاز شباب المحاربين قبل ما يتم انشاء شركه زي TSMC، عارف. طالع تقول واو، عارف، والله ذاتس جريت. there is lots of companies، عارف، تنمو كذا بشكل لا محدود. فيا I'm trying to get على قولتهم، عارف، الفرصه اني استثمر فيها. للاسف حاليا اقامه غير مجدده، البطاقات مسكره، ف نرجع الاوضاع كويسه
تقول لي وقت الانفستمنت. that's nice things to know man. يعني انا حاسس انه عندك يعني معرفه في اكثر من فيلد، والحاجه دي يعني جامده جدا. يعني عندك حاجه like you should start streaming, like you should, you know what I'm saying, لأنه عندك you got a lot to talk about. That's what I'm, you know what I'm saying, that's what I know. Like you got a lot of things to talk about, like, and I just be listening, bro. Like how do you know like a lot of like what you know a lot of things, bro.
والله اذا تحب السياسه والتاريخ راح تعرف الاشياء. يعني دوله زي النيذرلاندز، تعرف انه 20% من اراضيها ما كانت موجوده قبل 100 سنه. ما كان عندهم ذي الارض، صنعوها من ولا شيء.
اسمع
راحوا سووا سدود على البحر. نيذرلاندز، هولندا.
نيذرلاندز اوكي.
بنوا سدود على البحر. تخيل سدود على البحر. كانوا الناس في بريطانيا في عام 1790 قاعدين يقولوا هذول مجانين، عارف، الملوك البريطان قاعدين يقولوا هذا مجانين. ايش تبني بسد للبحر؟ تسد مين؟ البحر تحبسه في الجهه اليمين وذاك في الجهه اليسار. ايش الفائده؟ تعرف الطواحين حق النيذرلاندز اللي هي شعار هولندا المميز، ترى حيوانهم مو صقر، حيوانهم ما عندهم حيوان، شعارهم مميز هو الطاحونه هولندا. ايش الغباء هذا؟ كانوا ينتظروا الرياح تجي تحرك الطواحين، عشان الطواحين هذه مرتبطه في بيبات مياه تشفط المويه من الجهه A للجهه B، فاهم؟ فكانوا في عام 1890 قاعدين يخرجوا مويه البحر بعد ما يبنوا سد، يخرجوها من الجهه أ للجهه ب، يرموها للبحر، فاهم؟ صنعوا 20% من اراضيهم الغير موجوده. الان 50% من الشعب الهولندي ياكل من ذي الاراضي، ياكل حرفيا النباتات، الحيوانات اللي تشوفها كلها تاكل من ذيك المناطق. تم استصلاحها بنجاح. يعتبروا هم توبون في الاستصلاح. 25% من اراضي امريكا الزراعيه اليوم بفضل الهولنديين تم استصلاحها من قبل السدود على الميسيسيبي، عارف؟ نص الدول قائم على سدودهم، عارف؟ السعوديه سد جازان، اثيوبيا سد النهضه بمساعده كانت شركه هولنديه، عارف؟ استصلاح المياه عندهم توب 1 والاراضي.
That is right, yo. You are not. You know a lot of things, bro. I'm like, I'm trying to make sense of all the things you know. It's just kind of like, bro.
تعرف من الدولة اللي دائما لما ناقش أوروبي يجي يقول والله الإيميجرانتس شو كيف خربوا ألمانيا، شو كيف خربوا فرنسا. دائما نقول له شوف نيذرلاندز 60% من مواطنينها لاجئين. تعرف كم عندهم الجرائم؟ أقل من 2%.
طيب دقيقة أصبر stop. How the fuck do you know like all these things? Like honest question. How do you know, bro?
بيشن. أحب التاريخ مرة والسياسة. للأسف أحب الأشياء.
Patience يعني الصبر قصدك؟
بيشن الصبر، وبنفس الوقت كمان خلينا نضيف الشغف، عارف؟ فيا
That's a nice combination.
لأنه صراحة التاريخ ممل، ما راح أكذب عليك. التاريخ ممل إلا إذا أنت عندك شيء تبغى تسمعه. مثلا الناس أغلبهم يقول لك ليش ما يدرسون التاريخ في المدارس زي اللي في اليوتيوب لما يجي يتكلم مثلا عن النازية، ألمانيا، عن الحروب، القتالات. تعرف ليش؟ لأنك الناس حرفيا يحس بشعور الغضب هذا فيه، يتمثل في الحرب، يتمثل في المعركة، يحس بشعور الحنكه، فاهم؟ هو عشان كذا يتفرج التاريخ. انا اتفرج التاريخ لا، مو عشان كذا، اتفرج التاريخ عشان اتعلم. تخيل تروح كل يوم تداوم المدرسه بس بدون ما يخصموا منك درجات. هذا انا، ها بدون لو يقول تبغى تغيب غيب، عارف؟ حرفيا هذا انا قاعد اداوم اشوف مقاطع التاريخ، اقرا الكتب التاريخيه الممله. ما اكذب عليك والله اتس فكن والله ممله الف. بس لما تعرف كثير راح تعرف بالمستقبل فين تتقاعد. انا اعرف فين اتقاعد. انت تعرف فين راح تتقاعد؟
وين؟
انا ما دخلت جامعه واعرف فين راح اتقاعد في المستقبل. اعرف طبعا البلانز لازم تحط انه 50% راح تفشل، عارف؟ الخطط 50% راح تنجح، بس لانه متغيرات كثيره. انت في كوكب الارض مكان مو عادل، مكان مو مثالي، عارف؟ كل شيء فيه ما قاعد يمشي بالمثاليه اللازمه، عارف؟ انت عارف الشيء، انت ادرى. المين الخطه الاساسيه كوتور، منطقه اسمها كوتور، عارف؟ يشوت فايندت يعني. اتوقع انه كمان حستثمر فيها عقاريا كوتور. اتوقع هي راح تكون اللي من جد يعني شيء مكان مره ممتاز، عارف؟ للسياحه والمعيشه للاغنياء، عارف؟ في المستقبل راح تكون بديله عن موناكو. عندك رقم 2 ترى دحين كوتور 0 ضرائب، التامين الصحي مجانا، الكهرباء مجانا، المويه مجانا، بس عليك تدفع فلوس سكنك. يا تدفع سكنك وتدفع ضريبه الدخل، واللي ما راح تنفرض عليك لحد ما يكون راتبك اعلى من $1,000,000 سنويا، وتش يعني ما في ضرائب. ف يا
Nah, that's it. Hey,
هذا المكان مره كول.
I hope you taking notes. If you watching this on YouTube, man, I hope you taking notes. It's definitely gonna make it.
عندك في منطقة ثانية ايش كان اسمها؟ اللهم صل على محمد. اسمها دوبرافودا. منطقة ساحلية جبلية، درجة الحرارة فيها في الشتاء 15، في الصيف 22. فكن بالانسد، عارف؟ تكييف طبيعي عندك طول السنة، عارف؟ المكان ذا جدا خرافي، مطلع الساحل وجميل بالضبط جبل، عارف؟ جبل جدا عملاق. فتكيف طالع تقول واو يا اخي واتس بليز. يمكن عدد العماير اللي فيه حاليا 10 عماير، وفي شركات عقاريه في مونتينيغرو قاعد تستثمر فيه، عارف؟
مونتينيغرو.
في ناس كثير قاعدين
I just paid attention. What the fuck they mean Montenegro?
مونتينيغرو اسباني. هي مش اسبانيش، لاتيني، كلمه لاتينيه تعني الجبل، تعني الجبل الاسود. اي نو نيغرو اسمي بلاي.
Mi negro amigo. Damn.
فيا عندك مكان راح يصير فيه احتمال كبير يعني اذا فرنسا تعدلت يعني، وانا ما اعتقد انها راح تتعدل في السنين القادمه، ولكن بعدين اول ما تشوف انت بدات تتحسن نستثمر في المكان. شركات التقنيه فين؟ في عندك للاسف نحن جنوب فرنسا، نيس. عندك او نايس يقولونها الامريكان، هي النطق الصح نيس تاريخيا. عندك مارسيليا، لأن كل الظروف المواتية موجودة هناك. التعليم ممتاز، الرواتب متوسطة وممتازة، عارف؟ كل شيء موجود في وادي السيليكون في لوس أنجلوس موجود هناك عندهم. الشيء الوحيد اللي مو موجود عندهم الستارت ابس، وهذا الشيء اللي قاعد تحاول تخليه فرنسا تغير، عارف؟
انت عارف انه انت you know too much my nigga. But let me just finish the video and after we finish the video we can chop it up. لأنه if we continue talking this video is going to
we'll end in 6 a.m. 6 a.m.
You feel me? That's good. Now it's interesting though. Don't get me wrong. I really like appreciate.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's really nice, bro. And I told you if you try to, well not try to, if you become a streamer, it's definitely going to be something. حتكون فايدة مش حيكون عندك يعني.
Allah, I'm not going to be a streamer.
Nah, being a streamer for you is kind of like it fits. It fits.
I don't like being a public figure.
Yo, fuck being public. You can be like ما لازم يشوف وجهك. Just you know, just talk about things. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to show your face. Like you know what I'm saying? Eventually, if you feel like it, you might. لكن
صاحبي اتفق معك، لكن العالم هنا ما يحب الاختلافات وما يحب الناس
يا مان فك العالم هنا. You know what I'm saying? Fuck where you at.
برو وبكره انت تقول شيء يزعل شخص معين، شركه معينه، وتدخل مكان معين يتم اخفائك بشكل ما، عارف؟ اتس لايك زي ما يقولوا افكارك اللي تشوف فيها اختلافات مع الناس خليها في عقلك، عارف؟ او انشرها حولين الناس اللي حولينك بس، عارف؟ just the people around you, عارف؟
Hey man.
And you are around me, عارف؟ That's why.
And the niggas in chat and the niggas on my YouTube too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. هذا شيء حصري لمتابعين هيز.
You know what I'm saying? And this thing is going to be on YouTube probably forever. So, anyways, whatever you know what I'm saying, whatever you feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's your life. You know, I'm just trying to like give my what I think.
advice. يا والله انا رسبكتت مره. اتوقع اني حسوي قناه او ستريم لما اسافر برا، فاهم؟ المكان فيه enough democracy.
Okay.
I don't mean anything. I don't mean anything. Okay.
Go crazy. سوي اللي انت شايفه يا صاحبي. نكمل الفيديو ده.
Oh, well, us as the legacy media who never get anything wrong ever expect 100% accuracy when all you do is lie. I made it very clear that it is unacceptable that little girls die on the streets, and that people need to make it clear that we are not going to accept this anymore.
You also spread lies about who did it.
You've spread plenty of lies, sir,
and
yourself.
the lies have caused the riots.
No, for you to sit and say that my video is the only reason there was riots is disingenuous.
I didn't say that.
I
said you are
going to be the person. You're going to be the person who takes away everybody's ability to express. You're going to take away everybody's ability to express their opinion. And let me tell you something. People who don't feel politically represented at least feel like they have freedom of speech online. If you take that away as well, you're going to get things are going to get a lot worse. It's going to be worse for the country. Piers, you have to be careful sitting here on your show telling people that unless they said what you want them to say, they're not allowed to be on the internet. You are talking Stalinist.
When did I say that?
It's communist. It's dangerous.
When did I say that?
That's exactly what you said.
When did I say that?
You said that anyone who says anything online is causing the riots themselves directly, and they're directly responsible. And there's no powder keg in the UK due to a failure of the policing and the judiciary and the politicians. And you're sitting here, and I'm telling you, Piers, the things you're advocating for are going to cause more death and destruction than that vaccine you pushed or that country you supported as they bomb little children. Piers, be very careful what you say.
Yeah, listen, I'll take your lectures morning, noon, and night. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. But would you like to take this opportunity finally to tell the rioters to stop rioting? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Well, considering I've been saying that for the last 4 days on Twitter, you didn't read any of the tweets out.
قاعد يهزز جدا ورا كثير.
When?
To tell the rioters to stop rioting. Yes or no?
شوف قاعد يهز رجعت المايك.
Well, considering I've been saying that for the last 4 days on Twitter and you didn't read any of the tweets out.
ارجع ورا شوي عشان ثاني.
There's a careful what you say.
Yeah, listen, I'll take your lectures morning, noon, and night. It makes no difference to me whatsoever.
شوف الجاكيت جاكيت
would you like to take this opportunity finally to tell the rioters to stop rioting? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Well, considering I've been saying that for the last 4 days on Twitter and you didn't read any of the tweets out, they should be in front of you. There's at least 30. Let me make it clear to the people on both sides of the equation, all of my brothers in Islam and all of the Christians and native people of the UK who feel like they're underrepresented. You have more in common with the people you live among and all of the Christians. Let me make it clear to the people, Twitter and you didn't read any of the tweets out. Absolutely. Well, considering I've been saying that for the last 4 days on Twitter and you didn't read any of the tweets out.
قريب من الجهة البيضاء تحت المايك بالضبط.
اوكي اللي هو القميص اللي داخل السوت الابيض.
They should be in front of you. There's at least
ما بين الابيض والاسود النص الفارق بينهم.
On both sides of the equation, all of my brothers in Islam and all of the Christians and native people of the UK feel like they're underrepresented. You have more in common with the people you live
يحركوا بيده يمين يسار يمين يسار عشان يفكر.
The people you live amongst love their children and they're struggling to pay the bills exactly like you are. There's no reason for UK, one of the greatest countries in the world, one of the largest empires in history, to be plunged into poverty if it wasn't being looted by a political class that do not care about you. And the people who do not care about you, the number one thing they want is the different breeds or different types or different categories of poor people to fight so nobody looks up and sees who the real enemy is. Britain can be a rich country and it can be prosperous and it can be safe and it can be regulated and the police can respond and it can be as beautiful as a lot as the first world Islamic nations are. There's no reason why it has to be the way it is unless a political class was failing the people who they're supposed to represent for generations. And that's where this anger and hatred comes from. Not because a video was made on Twitter. That is so infantile and asinine to believe that some little video on Twitter started all of these things. That is what's happening. So stop rioting amongst each other and realize who the real enemy of your freedom is. When you understand the truth about this world, listen.
That's what I'm saying.
I was born on a Luton council estate.
That's what I'm saying.
For real.
Now I have hundreds of millions of dollars, and let me promise you, it's never poor versus poor. It's rich versus poor. When a black billionaire and a white billionaire meet, there is no racism because they are billionaires. Racism is what they use to divide the poor people, to stop us realizing that they lie about every single thing on the news, that they inflate the currency constantly, they send our money away to wars we're not interested in. Nobody can afford their bills. Nobody can afford health care, and you're going to die alone in some nursing home because you can't afford a nice house, because even then they're going to inheritance tax it. They don't want you realizing the truth, and that's why.
But you know what, Andrew?
Fight the poor people.
You know what, Andrew? I agree about the political classes failing people in Britain, as they have in many other countries. I agree with it completely. We need better politicians who have better solutions to big problems facing our country. But you're big on truth, and you abhor lies, and you hold them to account because they lie and don't tell the truth.
Correct.
And yet these riots,
Correct,
you claim were just organic reaction to the problems of the country. No, they weren't. These riots happened because far-right thugs acted on false information that the perpetrator of these wicked crimes acted on false information that the perpetrator of these wicked crimes against these 3 little girls that were killed and many others that were seriously wounded was an illegal Muslim who come into the country.
علمت شيء واحد اليوم، أي واحد يقول فاكس كذاب.
That is why these riots happened, and that was all a despicable lie designed to make people have completely the wrong idea. And hang on, and as a result of those lies, mosques, Muslim mosques belonging to your religion that you've converted to, were then attacked.
Your religion that you converted to. What? It's
God.
obvious as
As
fuck.
were asylum seeker hotels, because people believed it was an illegal migrant when it wasn't. It was all lies. And you, as the great espouser of truth who hates lying, should be the first to say that anyone that spread any of those false rumors about him being a Muslim, about him being an illegal immigrant, about him being on the MI6 terror watch list, you should condemn unreservedly anyone who spread any of those false rumors, because they're the things that inspired these riots. Bottom line, end.
Yeah, actually, you know, there's a good point here. There's a good point here, Piers. There's actually a very good point you make. And I actually want to speak to all the non-Muslims who are watching this and understand that if you read your history and you understand how the political class have lied to us to get us into all of these forever wars, they've tried very hard to make you believe that Muslims are your enemy. And there's been a large propaganda campaign by the Western media to make sure you feel that way. I assure you that 99.9% of Muslims think just like you, feel just like you.
خصوصا إذا أنت بريطاني.
Lied to us to get us into all of these forever wars. They've tried very hard to make you believe that Muslims are your enemy. And there's been a large propaganda campaign by the Western media machine to make sure you feel that way. I assure you that 99.9% of Muslims think just like you, feel just like you, and they're good people. And I don't want anyone to instantly assume that Muslims have committed a violent crime because a violent crime has happened. That's
Would you agree
a
what
terrible
I
thing
just
that
said?
happens, and I believe a lot of that happens. Yeah, I agree that, of course, I'd love to live in a world of absolute truth. Then people like you wouldn't have a job and the BBC would be closed down. And then Hugh Edwards wouldn't be able to sit up there and say that I'm a human trafficker when he gets caught being a pedophile himself. Sir, my hard drives are clean. I've been searched by 4 federal agencies. I'm doing my absolute best. My hard drives are clean. I'm not a criminal. I'm not the reason why the riot started. I'm a person who was very upset, who has 4-year-old daughters himself, disgusted by what he heard, believes that is unacceptable in any civilized civilization, and we should do anything it takes to prevent it from happening again. Perhaps I was wrong about the fact he was an illegal migrant and he was only a migrant. Perhaps I was wrong about that detail. However, I was right about most of the things I said.
Wrong.
People's concerns are what led them to the streets, not my video on Twitter. And you telling people that they shouldn't be allowed to have an opinion online unless it's 100% factual is extremely dangerous, because they're going to come along, decide what the facts are. They're going to lie like they did with the COVID vaccine. They're going to decide the facts. They're going to shut everyone up who disagrees. There's going to be no dissidents. And we're going to live in the absolute matrix. There's going to be slave minds everywhere who's not allowed to talk. And we're already getting there in the West as it is. So you need to be very careful the ideas you push, sir. Very careful. I think.
Well, you know what? Here's the idea I pushed.
Truthfully.
Here's the idea I pushed. I allow everybody onto Uncensored to have their views uncensored, as you've just done for the last hour. It will go up on YouTube, not the legacy media, but YouTube, uncensored. Every word that we have just exchanged will go up. So you can relax on that score. Andrew Tate, thank you very much.
All right, chat.
Let's
sum up the video, man. Listen, I hope y'all got some value. Well, I know if you paid attention, you got some value. But yeah, man. With that being said, man, THC Security Take Over, do with a program good left over. simple as that. That's interesting. انا حمشي اسوي ريستارت وحاجه ها خليك
ريستارت كل شوي يقول بمشي اسوي ريستارت من 10 دقائق
10 دقيقة صح؟ انا لازم اي شات
والله
احنا هسه عملنا لكم
I'm speaking a
4
lot.
ساعات 4 ساعات in 20 minutes فباقي زي باقي زي 4 ساعات ثانية فما حمشي اي محل you know what I'm saying حنكون لايف ل4 ساعات زيادة
Go restart your internet.
ايوه عادي ما مشكلة حتى لو سويت ريستارت الستريم ولا شيء نحن هسه عارفين انه الستريم صار له 4 hours in I don't think it's going to focus لكن
in 20 minutes.
yeah